What's up, y'all? So these are just some thoughts in passing that I've been having lately, and I've been entertaining, and I've been talking with a good friend of mine for a couple of weeks, back and forth. And before I get too deep into this, let me just sign out of Discord real quick. There we go. I didn't want any background noise, so will technology replace religion? Or more specifically, will the coming technocracy replace religion? And I think the answer to that question personally is mostly yes. But we need to take a step back for a minute and break this down into different categories, a few different categories, like in terms of morality, because after all, religion is where a lot of people in the world extract their moral and ethical systems from. And on the question of morality, and if it's objective or not, I don't think that's something that science can entirely encompass. It's not a field for science to poke and prod at. I think that's, the nature of ethics is more metaphysical, if anything. And whether you subscribe to a more evolutionary perspective on morality, or you're more toward the religious side of things, doesn't really matter, because whether morality is the product of some socio-biological spin-off or religious doctrine and teachings that have been passed down and sculpted throughout the ages, in the face of the coming technocracy, it's important excuse me, that we recognize that the people, the technocrats, spearheading this movement ought to adhere to a
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh, that's super weird. How do I turn this off? Here we go. Technology, you gotta love it. Alexa, or whatever that thing is called, that the little assistant, voice assistant thing on Macs that just popped up. My bad. So the people who are spearheading the technocracy, it's in, I think, their best interest as well as our best interest. The people, the civilians, or the pawns, because that's just kind of what we are to a lot of these elitist types, adhere to a coherent moral framework while they are constructing this technocratic utopia that they have in mind, and that they are and have been attempting to facilitate for a few decades now. And that's because, like with any political ideology, it can be a slippery slope if you don't have a morally guiding framework to make sure that make sure that there's a safeguard against tyranny in place. I don't see this as being plausible. I don't think. I think that they couldn't care less when it comes right down to it, in terms of our, well-being and our futures. They don't really care how this affects us, negatively or otherwise. They're just going to do what they're going to do because, that's what power does to most people by and large. It corrupts them to the core because they don't know how to handle it adequately, and things like honor and respect and love for your fellow man is all but lost in this culture of vanity and selfishness and despondency and hypermaterialism that we are living in and have allowed to take over and infect us like a disease. But that's a different topic for another video. So in the category of ethics and morality, I don't think the technocracy or just science in general can or does have much of a say in that arena specifically. So in that instance, whether it's, religion, whether it's one's own personal philosophy, theosophy, an evolutionary take on morals, there should be something there in place to at least try to create a sort of checks and balance system. So there's still relevancy there. There's still religious or otherwise relevancy there. Another category we can break this down to is metaphysics, like the big existential questions that we all have and ask and ponder and entertain, at least from time to time. Does a God exist? Is there an afterlife? What is the true nature of reality? So on and so forth. I think as we progress further into this technocratic, hyper-technocratic state of being and of existing, I think that question will become less and less prevalent and important. Not saying that it will snuff out the sort of natural sense of wonder and mystique that's attached inherently, I think, to the more existential side of things. But if we get to the point where we can achieve some form of biological immortality, or say like maybe pseudo immortality, via the advancements made in areas of technology and medical science, and the two often go hand in hand. These are things that, if anything, these types of questions will be considered at leisure, more or less. They won't be such pressing matters, or as pressing, because we'll have more time, save for life extension technology. Maybe at some point soon we'll live to be 350 years will be the average human lifespan, and then maybe we'll get that up to 500, so on and so forth. And so, excuse me, we'll sort of push these questions to the back of our minds a little bit more. And we'll be more focused on the here and now and what we can learn about and understand now and how we can progress in this way or that way now. What we can experience now and not, not talk about the hypothetical as often or maybe even as seriously. The question will, does God exist, the nature of reality, these sort of things, they'll still be there. And for sure, until we hit a bottom, if we ever do hit a bottom to that rabbit hole and come to any concrete conclusions / answers one way or the other, they'll always be there. These types of questions will always crop up in our minds, as they should. I do think, nevertheless, these are very vital and important aspects to the human experience. But if we ever get to the point where, not just with life extension, but death becomes less and less of a threat perception to us, maybe it becomes a non-factor even, right? Then who cares, right? Who cares about if there's an afterlife or not? Who cares if there's a grandiose creator in the ether somewhere or not? Because that's the point, right? That's the point of a lot of religions, is to safeguard the eternal well-being of human and or animal souls, spirits, and give closure and meaning to people and their, big questions about the deeper, more, analytical levels of existence. It's to give people, it's to imbue them with purpose. And don't worry too much about it, because when you die, you'll meet your maker or makers, and your soul will survive the physical erosion and death of the body, and you'll go on to live forever and ever and ever, and you'll rejoin and commune with lost loved ones, so on and so forth. You'll ascend spiritually and achieve enlightenment, or you'll achieve nirvana, you'll enter heaven. All of your questions will be answered, all of your concerns and anxieties will be put to rest once and for all. That's the point of religion. And it shares in that with science, actually. Religion and science share the same sort of fundamental goals, actually, because if you think about it, science also attempts to answer these questions in its own way, and in a way that's more, I would argue, practical than the religious method has been traditionally. Because with science, it's like, look, we're not just gonna sit here and meditate on and philosophize about the abstract, what potentially could or might be, and leave it at that. No, we're gonna take it a step further. We're gonna do that, and then we're gonna use our knowledge and our intelligence to make these new discoveries in all these different fields, biology, microbiology, and medicine, and technology, and all this. And we're going to provide, eventually, something more concrete, something you can actually delve into and rely on with your 5 physical senses, something that's immediate, something that's real, that's actual, a potential that can be actualized in the real world, and not in some far off daydream, if you will. So the two have that sort of motivating factor in common. It just seems to me, and to a lot of other people, I'm sure, that one of these disciplines, i.e. science, produces far more positive results than its counterpart, religion, ever has, and maybe even ever will. Not saying that the two should divorce and become enemies, because I don't see a need for that. I don't think there needs to be more division between the two areas of study, and epistemology and all that. I think the two can work in unity and harmoniously, at least to some extent, for the overall well-being of the human species. There's plenty of scientists out there, very well known, very renowned scientists who had religious affiliations, who have made groundbreaking discoveries in their respective fields and have contributed quite a bit of good, scientifically and otherwise, to society and to the world at large. So I don't think that gap needs to widen any more than it already is and has. So in the metaphysics department, I just think that technology, science are more practical means of eventually getting more concrete, assured answers to those big existential questions than religion is. That's about where that ends, for me anyway. And another category we can jump on over to is socially. The social fabric of our world, our societies, and our cultures. This is another shared goal of the technocracy of science and of religion, churning out the best living situations that are humanly possible for as many people as possible. Again, though, I think that science does a better job at doing this, because again, it's more practical. Religion and philosophy, that deals more in the abstract, in the the what if department. And don't get me wrong, I'm not looking down on religion or philosophy by any means necessary. I understand their importance and their prevalence in human society, and they have advanced us in some ways. They have contributed positively to the world. I'm not looking down on these institutions, these intellectual disciplines. I'm saying that if we're going to be objective in our approach to the technocracy and, do a compare and contrast to these other different systems that have set out to do, the same thing more or less, establishing a sort of utopia on Earth for everyone to partake in and enjoy, then we need to recognize that a system that just talks about something will always be inferior to a system that talks about something but also takes action and provides positive or at least mostly positive results. And in a social sense, it's very hit or miss, because the technocracy is it makes communication better and more efficient in terms of, for example, this live stream. I'm able to sit here and run my mouth to whoever's listening or will listen, and they could be living somewhere else in the country, multiple states away, or maybe even in another country halfway across the world, right? And so that's amazing. That's more or less telepathy in a more realistic sense, because after all, that's what science has set out to do, to make the impossible possible, to maybe garner the things from mythology and legend, the ability to fly and to, manipulate the weather and just the laws of physics in general, and actually construct the technology to do that, to actually do that. So it succeeds in the efficiency department, but where I think it fails, and it can get better, but where I think it fails for right now is, although it makes communication easier and more efficient in so many ways, it also robs people, I think, if they're not careful. It's a double-edged sword situation. So if people aren't careful and they become too dissolved into this technology, they can lose a great deal of their social skills. They won't know how to adequately and appropriately communicate with their fellow human beings, with their family members, with their friends, with members of their community, so on and so forth. And so they'll lose that sort of social awareness and intelligence, because they're so used to talking to people, online and whatnot, maybe on video chat or in text chat or whatever, that they'll lose the confidence and the know-how to actually do that, to have and establish and nourish those types of relationships with people, actual physical people, in their personal lives. So that's where it could go wrong if we are not careful and cautious about that. So socially, it's it's here and it's there. It's very 50-50, I would say, as of right now anyway. Where, because with religion, it's, you get together with a bunch of people from, mostly from your community, your local communities and neighborhoods. You go to a church, or you go to a synagogue or a mosque or a temple or what have you, and you interact with other humans on a more intimate level. You speak with them in person, you eat with them in person, you gather to worship with them in person. You guys know each other, at least to some extent. You talk and you build friendships, and you have a more sturdy, more healthy and real sense of community and belonging that way than, again, if you go more toward the extreme side of things with technology and you only communicate with people through some technological medium. So religion does have that. I think it has a leg up on technology thus far in that area. But, again, this can be changed for the better. So hopefully this won't be something this won't be a permanent problem. Another category we can analyze. Let's see, we've done morals and ethics. We've went over metaphysics. We've discussed the social elements. Politically, we can go into the political realm. Everyone's favorite favorite place to be, right? Because nothing brings people together more than talking about why we disagree with our political opponents. So politically, religion versus the technocracy in terms of politics. Well, this is a wide field. Well, all of these are really wide fields. So, let's not kid ourselves here. I'm only touching, I understand that I'm only touching on the surface, if that, of all these different areas and all the contemplations and critiques and whatnot that could be, thought of and talked about and all this. And I'm well aware of that. But this isn't really meant to be a deep dive. This is just sort of an introductory level video, or stream rather, something to warm people up to the idea, something to introduce people in a more, I guess, gentle and thought-provoking manner, to the topic at hand. So, politics. So, religion and politics go hand in hand, and religion and science / technology also go hand in hand. See, it's all one knowledge at the end of the day. Like it's epistemology, it's knowledge, and then everything that branches out, from it are the branches or the subcategories So keep that in mind. This is all about, this is all knowledge based. We're just kind of climbing up the rungs of the ladder, or inspecting the different branches of the same tree, so to speak, if you want to get a little esoteric with it. I think politics will be affected by the technocracy in the sense that, and this could go one way or the other, like with almost anything in life, globalism, because technology brings people together like nothing else does. It creates a sort of aggregate of humans online, like through different, like social media is an excellent example of this phenomena, because people flock by the hundreds of millions to the internet, whether it's to social media or to whatever. It's, I guess, everything is a social media app these days: YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Discord, Skype, whatever. This StreamYard this app that I'm using to stream this, and it's like a breeding ground for globalism, in the sense of it's like an ideological globalism, because everyone sort of gets to give their take and explain their perspective, discuss their views and opinions, and debate them as well, in this sort of hive mind, this like internet hive mind or something. What's up, Tom Peas? If you want to come on here, let me know. I'll bring you in. I got you, brother. I got you. Hold on. Where you at? I tossed you a friend request on one of my new Discord accounts. My other one got hacked, so that's me. That pending friend request should be from me. If you accept that, I can throw you the link in your inbox. There we go. There we go. But all right, while he gets situated there, things are going to pick up now. They're going to get interesting. Tom Peas is about to show up. But yeah, so in terms of politics, technology has provided like it's a hive mind. It's like an hive mind for like everybody from all over the world to come in and share their thoughts and their views on everything. So in terms of like, is it better or worse in terms of quality, right? Like compared to religious communities and what they're able to muster. I'm not entirely sure. To be perfectly honest, I'm not entirely sure. Let me let my man's in here though for a minute. Let him speak on this if he got something to say. Yo, what up, man?
Yo, what up, bruh?
What up? How you been doing?
Hey, you know me, man. I'm fucking working and grinding, making this money. I'm playing the markets, getting it done.
That's right. That's right. You still trucking?
Yo, man, fucking, I just got back to it, dude. They hit me in December with a fucking a diabetes diagnosis. They like, nigga, you was gonna die. And I was like, yo, I'm not trying to do that. So like I started exercising every day and shit, and motherfucking eating properly, and you know what I mean. Now I'm off the medications and I'm back to normal. You know what I mean, grinding it out.
God damn. Okay, so you reversed the shit then, right?
Yo, man,
Basically.
I'm that type of dude.
He said, "Look, I'll bench press Floyd a couple times. You know what I mean? I'll stop going to Massachusetts."
Yo, that's where I was at, bro. I was like, yo, I'm not trying to hit Massachusetts on a regular basis. I'm not with that shit.
That's probably what did it to you, to be honest. You
I
got a
know.
bit of an echo, brother, by the way.
Huh? I got a bit of an echo, man. Listen,
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to plug my fucking headphones in. God damn it. God, come on, fucking these sons of bitches. Hold up, man. I
got you.
There we go. All right. Nah, the echo should have went away.
Yeah, you good.
But anyway, he was talking about the technocracy and shit.
Yeah. So I'm just going down like a list of these different categories and comparing it to like basically what technology has to offer versus what religion has to offer, and which one is superior in some ways, which one is inferior. Like, we're just doing a rundown because that's basically where the world's going, right? Like, everything is more operated from like a scientific and technological perspective at this point. So if you want to share your thoughts though, brother, feel free.
Well, you know, man, like I've always been a man of where I think that culture is important, right? I think that like human beings as a whole shouldn't be some like, you know, I mean, automaton, robotic pieces of, you know what I'm saying, machinery. I've always thought that like human beings had a lot to add as human beings, as animals, as people. And the mentality that's standing here thinking that technology blending us all into one fucking type of hive mind is goddamn awful as a whole. I think that's the shit way of doing things. Like if I can stand here and explain to you and other people, you know, I mean, a complex idea with an accent, why is that, you know, I mean, not a positive thing as far as the world's concerned? Why can't we be both educated but maintain our heritage and culture rather than have like this autonomous, you know, I mean, robotic mentality?
Yeah, I get you. Like that's the problem, right? That's what I was about to get at. I'm like, the way that the way that this technology is set up these days, right? It's a hive mind. Like the internet is a hive mind, and it kind of dissolves, right? Like individuality, if you think about it, right? Because that's what it that's what it strives to do. It's like, yo, you know, here's the prevailing narrative that we've set now. The internet is there to help, like, conform more people to that narrative, right? So they're going to start thinking the same way, they're going to start talking the same way, living the same way. So it kind of destroys the whole like purpose of being a person, really, because like if you're not an individual, then what are you, right?
I mean, like, you know, have you read Mencius Moldbug by chance?
No, who's that?
Mencius Moldbug is he's an author, but he's a recent one, right? And he's an internet author, like a, you know, I mean, like above all else. And it's something I think you'd most definitely be interested in reading, you know what I mean? Because he's a Jacobite. I don't know if you know what that is. It's an old term. It basically means that like he believes that, you know, I mean, the English royalty should be restored, right? And I have this, like, he has all the points laid out that I agree with until he gets to the end part where he stands here and he goes, well, I think that the entire culture of humanity, you know what I'm saying, should be that of, you know what I'm saying, safety and respect and, you know what I mean, community and shit. But like, he takes it from an extreme right-wing position, not right-wing like we think of it today, but right-wing like in the French, you know what I'm saying, classical sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. Like for me, it's hard to stand here and have this type of mental about shit because, like, how do I put this? Like, I know that democracy's fucking dumb, right? But I ultimately believe that, like, the mentality of preserving our culture and our heritage is highly important.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because that's part of like people's identities, right? Like you can't just strip people of who they are, like culturally and historically. Like if you take that away from somebody and you just kind of throw them into this like this hive mind that just melds everyone together and says, we're all the same and we're all on equal footing. That's a lie, right? Number one, because we're definitely not. We share in the same like humanity. We're all human at the end of the day, but that's about it. That's kind of where that stops, because we're not the same. Clearly, we got different politics. We got different philosophies about life. We got different religious views. If someone subscribes to those, we got different cultural norms and heritage and all that. And I mean, it's impossible. It's impossible to go that route and expect like a utopia or something to like rise up out of the ashes.
Well, think about it this way: what would the world be without tacos?
What would the world be without taco trucks? Like,
like a real shit. When you're breaking it down, in the end of the day, like, what would the world be without tacos, without pizza, without spaghetti, without macaroni and cheese? You know what I'm saying? Like, without, you know what I'm saying, fucking French bread, without, fucking sourdough bread, without, you know what I'm saying, French fries, without, you know what I mean, like all the things that like we stand here and we eat every day. What would the world be without them? Like, would you be willing to live in a world where legitimately they said, because the end result of this is us eating porridge that just sustains us.
Yeah, it become a pretty black and white like existence, right? Like we wouldn't really have the option to choose. Like, do I feel like I don't know, do I feel like some Caribbean food tonight, or do I feel like some Creole food or something, or do I just want to go straight American with it and grill me up some burgers and call it a day? Like, it's basically it's like prison. Here's what you're gonna eat today and for the rest of your life, and you don't have a choice.
Yeah, I mean, like, because like in the end of the day, like your culture and your heritage, and that's really what's left of it is just food at this point. You know, it's, at least in America as a whole. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I hate to be that dude, but like, what else is left of our culture and our heritage and where we come from and who we were? You know, because like a lot of it's just been fucking erased. You know what I'm saying?
You're not wrong. I was shocked, right? Like I was at my cousin's gas station that he works at last night, and I seen some chocolate bars, and I couldn't understand the language on them. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he was like, oh, that's some shit from like Germany or something. It was like some chocolate out of Europe. And I'm like, word? I'm like, yo, they allow that? They're letting you sell, you know what I mean, some like European merch? What the fuck? Damn. Yo, you're gonna get hit with a lawsuit, homie.
I mean, like, like that's kind of where the mentality gets down to in the end of the day. Like, fucking like there has to be heritages, there has to be, different cultures in order to continue moving forward as human beings, because like ultimately, like we live in this meritocracy of society. Like we live in a society where like the best motherfucking shit makes it, and if you don't have any shit competing, like it just turns into this garbage, drab, shitbag fucking world where nothing new is ever made and nothing good ever happens other than like fucking technology to further the advancement of what the fuck it is the goddamn oligarchs want.
Yeah, and that's a problem, right? Because that's where I was heading after. Like I was gonna do, if nobody else came on here, I was just gonna go down, some different aspects of the technocracy and just be like, all right, and here's the conclusion. And when I got there, I was gonna be like, one of the biggest problems with all this is like we're not all gonna share in the same sort of like high tech shit that these oligarchs at the top are going to. Like we're basically going to be like, we'll be the lab rats, and then we'll also be, they'll give us some shit, to keep us like occupied and entertained. Like, yeah, here's some shit we developed like 20, 25 years ago or something. Y'all have fun with that. But, meanwhile, we're going to like enjoy all this like medical science that's going to add, X amount of fucking decades or whatever crazy shit it is to our lives. And we're going to outlive y'all and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's the problem. See, because the ones at the top are going to enjoy the shit and they're really going to get the creme of the creme when it comes to the technology, right?
I mean, let's think about it like this, right? So, our advancement in, our ability to like make ourselves age as a whole has not been in longevity of work life. It's been in longevity of just breathing. And, we at no point have we made any type of strides towards making our lives better in a long-term fucking type of deal. Like a 50-year-old from 100 years ago and a 50-year-old today are the same goddamn person. Right. And, they have the same problems, the same issues, the back pain, the knee pain, the fucking dick not working. Like, like life is not getting any better. You know what I mean? Like, so like, I really wish people would just enjoy their goddamn lives and die earlier. Like, to be honest with you.
Like, yeah, what's that quote? I forget who it's from. It's like, I'd rather, 50 years of like top quality life than like 100 years of some boring, mundane shit.
Yeah, it said every person ever who really lived.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the deal. So I mean, like, what's the fucking point in living to be goddamn 100, 110 years old if you look like, fucking Mother Teresa in the end of it? You know what I mean? Like, if you end up looking like, like some type of sycamore tree with like fucking slits for eyes, like, the fuck is the
point? Yeah, at some point, you age and you stop living and you're kind of just existing, right? Like, you're just sitting there slowly melting into your fucking couch or your chair or whatever, and you're like, well, I'm not even, this is where I sleep, this is where I eat, I'm fucking, I'm just here, right? Like, everyone else around me is living their lives, but now I'm just here. That's not, I'm not really looking forward to something like that personally.
I mean, like, people turn into California raisins and shit.
That's another problem too. Quality of life. Like, all right, let's say,
that's what I'm saying is quality of life. Like, like legit, like, if you spend the last 40 years of this goddamn planet, you living on this planet for 40 years and you can't get no pussy, the fuck is the point in living? Like,
basically, like, what about the base? Like, strip it down to like the bare essentials, right? Like, animalistically, like, what if you can't mate, if you can't get you some, if you can't make,
if you
produce,
can't go run a mile, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you can't, like, if you can't like be productive, if you can't, go and like hang a cabinet, or you can't, fucking like wash your own fucking scrotum. Like, the fuck is the point in this? If you gotta like, if you have to wash your ass every time you shit because you can't make it to the bathroom, the fuck is the point? You know what I mean? Like, if you laying on a table next to like your grandkids and shit, getting your diaper changed, why are you still alive?
That's real talk. That's the problem. Like, quality of life. Like, all right, like, even if you like, there people like who are like super in favor of the technocracy. They're like, yo, we're gonna live like hundreds of years longer and all this. And I'm like, yeah, but like, what if you make it to like 300 years or something, and that's the average lifespan? What are we gonna do about the natural resources and shit? Because if y'all think it's a problem now, right? Oh, we're using too much of this or too much of that, blah blah blah. Well, you're really gonna be complaining if the average fucking lifespan is 300 years, and now you have to sustain billions or tens of billions of people who will live in that long with a limited amount of fucking natural resources. Then you're really gonna be fucked.
I mean, think about it this way, right? Like, look, and like, they want to build like these smart cities and shit where niggas is stacked on top of each other and whatever, right? Like, what is the point in living when you can't see the sunlight on the ground?
Yep.
Like I don't know everybody ever been to New York. Everybody, New York's this great vibe and it got this great city, you know. This shut up, stupid. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you walk down the streets, nigga, you can't see the sun. The fuck is the point in living in a place where you're in the shade all day? Like, yo, without police, like niggas is getting robbed 24 hours a day. Like that just is what it is.
That's right. Yeah, like fresh air. That's another thing, right? Like I remember going camping, like when I was younger, and I was like, because I always hated the city. I'm like, it's too like it's like you're packed like sardines. It's too fucking, you're not breathing fresh air. Like it's too fast paced. It's fucking stop go.
Like the closest thing you got to a wild animal is a rat. You know what I mean? Like, it's not pimping.
A sewer rat and shit. Like I'm not having it. So like when I used to go camping, I was like, damn, this is nice. Like, and my fucking uncles would teach me like, yeah, so when you're out here, you're on your own, but it's good because it kind of like teaches you how to be self-sustaining.
A human being. No, not self-sustaining. It teaches you how to be a human fucking being, right?
You're hungry, you better go hunt. You better get something to eat.
Like nigga, like yo, them berries is not edible. You know what I'm saying? Don't eat them motherfuckers off that bush. Like I'm gonna tell you a story, right? When I was a kid, they took me to the planetarium, right? You know what I'm saying? And like I thought those niggas was lying to me, right? In the end of the day, I was like, yo, them niggas is bullshitting. Like yo, that's not even a real fucking thing. Like yo, they're not real, right? It turns out they was real. You know what I mean? You just had to leave the city to see the goddamn stars and shit. Because like yo, in the city you can't see nothing because of fucking light pollution and shit on some nonsense.
Yeah.
Like yo, this is the type of shit that like, you know, motherfuckers don't know about. Like they don't know that they don't know. There's known unknowns and there's unknown unknowns. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like that's an unknown unknown to a nigga. You know what I mean? Like when you fucking stuck in the goddamn city and shit. Like, yo, you know, like,
there's known unknowns, folks, and then there's unknown knowns that aren't known. That
say
are
what
unknown.
again, nigga? Say what again, motherfucker? What ain't no country I ever heard of?
You know what another problem is like, yeah, like supermarkets are cool, right? Like we can go there now and we can pick up some beef or whatever the fuck or whatever we need. But like, if a survival situation ever hit, you know, the grid goes down or some shit from a solar flare or whatever, how many people do you really think, especially the ones who are living in these cities that we're talking about, like how many of them do you think would be prepared for something like that? Like they would know what the fuck to do and how to survive if shit like that ever went down.
That's a zombie apocalypse at that point. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. Like, yo, look, that's what everybody who lives outside of the city is praying for. You know what I mean? Like, yo, let us have an opportunity to just like thin the herd. You know what I mean? Like we'll take out 2/3 of them niggas coming out of the cities and shit and just fucking lay them down. Just buck them down. It is what it is.
He said, I'm gonna build roads with your bones, motherfucker. Like,
yeah, like I'm knocking bridges out. You know what I mean? I'm be living like that Day of the Dead dip. You know what I'm saying? Where like they was over here, motherfucking, you know, just like plucking niggas off a rooftop, just open them out. Like they got the nigga look like Burt Reynolds and shit.
I was about to say, I don't know how many of y'all have seen the movie. What is it? I Am Legend with Will Smith, but that's gonna be fucking Tom Pease if shit like that ever goes down.
Like, man, listen, like you don't understand. Like, I'm be out here driving tanks and shit, just fucking niggas up. That shit ever goes down. It is what it is. Like that is priority one. Is give me a tank and a Hummer. You know what I mean? Like, yo, the original Hummer, like a Joan with the motherfucking 50 cal on top, just start sawing niggas down. Like. I might give me a mohawk, you know what I mean? Legit. Like, I might give me a mohawk and start playing some heavy metal music and shit and a leather jacket with some spikes on it, walking around like Sophane and shit.
I gotta mount me like 2 fucking AA-12s on my bike, my new bike I gotta mount them right. I gotta get me like an old fucking Civil War style mini hand cannon or some shit. Put that at the front and then put the 2 fucking guns on the side and call it a day. You know
how we feel. The AA-12 solves all problems.
Yo, it really does. Like it's a problem solver.
Like I had a buddy when I was growing up. His nigga's name was Ricky, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was a little Cuban nigga, and he used to tell me, he said, "Tom Peace, uppercut, right hook will solve all your problems." I'm trying to tell you right now. And he is not wrong. 90% of your problems disappear. Just throw that fucking left uppercut and the right hook, and it's just over. That's the end of the day for motherfuckers.
That's right. Too much civility these days. Like if you need money, you could just knock somebody out and take their money if you can do it. Like,
like yo, Asians is in California. Like people are being racist, beating us up. I'm like, nigga, it's black folks. Would you stop? Like, yo, the black dudes is over here rolling old Asian people taking their money because they figured out that they got cash and shit.
Like people are beating us up. Like I think that might be natural selection. I'm not sure though. I could be mistaken.
I think it might be like y'all niggas got money and you fucking like, you need to learn how to protect yourselves better. Like you think just white society was gonna let you walk around and be cool without, you know what I'm saying, robbing y'all a few times? It is what it is. Like I don't know if you heard, but like we got these black folks that be screaming out BLM and shit and trying to kneel and fucking burn down cities. Like it's not safe to be walking around with that type of cash in your pocket.
You probably shouldn't have money and then go to low income communities and neighborhoods. Probably not, because shit, even when I was growing up in the neighborhood I was in, it was like you might get robbed. Like some of us would be cool with you, but then some of us might fucking rob you and divvy up the fucking funds. So,
well, let's put this proper. All right, let's put this proper. All right, like in my neighborhood, if you came in there with a whole bunch of money, we're probably not going to run your pockets, but you are going to leave broke. You know, like like there's going to be a lot of food and motherfucking shit ordered on your money. It is what it is. Like yo, I used to go and drop white bitches off of credit cards, like and they get ran the fuck through. And they leave there with no dough, bad credit, and plenty of back pain. Like it is what it is.
Plenty of back pain.
Like I know how it works. I used to fuck this bitch. She had a dick on her back, right? Like yo, she had a dick with fucking butterfly wings tattooed on her back and shit. Like a dick would set her free or something.
Yep. This is the conclusion of the technocracy, folks. No, but like I'm pretty sure, like I don't know, I went through a whole bunch of shit for like the first 45 minutes, and like we could probably like we can keep going, right? Like because we can segue. Now Tom Pease is on your fucking show. You can pretty much segue into any other fucking topic. It doesn't even matter at this point. But
yeah,
like
it don't matter. It don't matter
like, there is something though that I wanted to talk about. I'm in the middle. I was like 20 minutes into watching one of your videos from like last month, and it was fucking hilarious. So we can
about
talk
what? Which one was it?
Well, like, so we're gonna. I'm gonna put a pause on like the technocracy stuff, right? Because this is a little more interesting to me right now. So one of your videos, right, from let me make sure I get. It was like last month, and it was a response video to this channel called "Stuff They Don't Want You to Know." Do you remember that?
Oh my god, yeah. Like the stuff they want you to know. Like yo, this is the stuff they need you to know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I seen your comment, right? I seen your fucking. This is like a weird synchronicity. Like I was just sitting there, earlier, and I was going through their playlists because I'm subbed to that channel, or like I used to be, because like I thought the shit was interesting because I used to watch it like years ago, 7-8 years ago, and shit.
Yeah. Like, that's how I got hooked up on this channel. Yeah,
right when they were good. Now it's like it's bullshit for the most part now, but like. And I was scrolling through that video. What was it, like the alt-right pipeline video? And I was like, the fuck are they talking about? I clicked on it. I'm scrolling through the comments, and like 5 comments down, I see a gorilla avatar. And I'm like, no. And I zoom in on this shit. And I'm like, yo, it's fucking Tom Pease. What? Yeah. Like, this dude is everywhere. Right? So, and he's like, oh, shit. He's like, yo, I'm doing a fucking response to this video. And I'm like, hold the phone, bro. I stopped watching that bullshit, and I went over to your response video. I found that, and I started watching that. Yo, explain, like, what the fuck? Give me a rundown real quick. What the fuck was that whole? Because I didn't finish the pipeline video. I heard enough, really, but give me a rundown. What the fuck was that about exactly?
All right, so like, I want to say 2 years ago there was an article out, right, about the motherfucking the alt-right pipeline. And like what it involved was like, here's the bitch. There was a bunch. Okay, so like they had a bunch of like bigger YouTubers, you know what I'm saying? Like fucking Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro and fucking all these guys or whatever, right? And basically, like they had, once they started watching their videos, like the people started watching like videos of people I knew, like I talked to on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas like Tonka and all these Andy Worski and Mr. Medicare and fucking all these people, right? Well, these shitheads decided to go like, all right, so the stuff you don't want to know, right? That channel went from being like this cool, gritty, you know, boom, and they made like that crazy ass fucking shit, right? You know, like today we're going to talk about the heart attack gun, CIA, right? And I was like, yo, yes, fuck yes, let me hear about it. This sounds cool as shit, right? But no, like these niggas went full woke where like this bitch ass nigga with the fucking neck beard and like the hat on with the drum kit in his living room, right?
The drum kit in his living room,
right? Yo, yeah, right. He was talking about, well, you know, my daughter makes TikTok videos and shit, and she has like 70,000 subscribers. And I'm like, well, hang on a minute. And then like he's like, my daughter's like 11. Right. Yo, and I'm like, first off, your 11-year-old daughter should not have a fucking TikTok channel, right? Just to begin with, like, just on some nonsense. Like, secondly, 90 to 1, and he said like his daughter texted him, and I was like, oh, so your daughter probably don't live with you because like, yo, your wife is over there fucking Tyrone or whatever, you know what I mean? And like, yo. Like these dudes, like, and this dude was talking about how they should be censoring, you know, I mean, individuals with independent opinions, you know what I'm saying? And like how, like, and this article came out, I think it was from like Vice or some shit, or like fucking one of them stupid woke ass fucking channels, right? And like, he was like quoting like all this fucking super woke liberal bullshit. And like in the middle of the video, he fucking quotes, like I want to say it's like fucking some governmental agency, and I'm like, it's the stuff they want you to know. Like, yo, like this nigga legitimately is going to like government sources on some like censorship shit. You know what I mean? And like, yo, that was basically the gist of the video, how like we're all Nazis and we're terrible, and you know what I'm saying? We should be silenced. And like then I went through the comments on the video and shit, right? Because like the comments are the best on the video, because it says how much it said, who wants to bet me that he has to clean up after his wife's done with her bull, right?
I seen that one too.
First comment.
I seen that one too. What happened, right? Like, so all right, I heard. All right, so I'll backtrack a bit. When I first found this channel, it was like 2000. I want to say, damn, like 8 or 9. Honestly,
yeah,
definitely
back in the heyday of YouTube, the best part.
Yeah, literally the best part. And it was like, fucking. Hold on, I'm just trying to light up. So like, it was about that intro. It was like from UFOs and government cover-ups to Bigfoot and the fairies in your front garden and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like they had that ominous.
Yeah. It was one of the best channels on YouTube. Like real shit.
And I'm like, how the fuck did it go from all that, right? From talking about like actually interesting and real shit to what, like recently, would you say like the past year or so or something like that?
All right. So the channel went dead for about 3 years. Right. There was nothing on this channel for like 3 years. And then they came back during the coronavirus and they turned into this super woke, retarded bullshit. Right. Because like, that's not the first of those videos. Like, yo, there was a few of them, like because they covered the insurrection.
Okay.
And they literally sat there and quoted CNN the whole time.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so it was literally the stuff they want you to know.
So it went from the stuff they don't want you to know to the stuff they really want you to know, and we're gonna tell you about it.
Yeah, basically. But like that's why like I bring up like guys like Mencius Moebug or like like, and you also need to read Ted Kaczynski too, which it's terrible to like go and like use him as a reference, but Jesus Christ, was he right about some shit that it's like it's fucking awful. I'll be honest with you, but like he was right. There's this he wrote this shit called The Greatest Trick That the System Plays, right? And one of my videos I did recently, my buddy Ryan read it out and on his live stream, and I basically covered it, commentary to it. But basically what it is that the system, it uses like all that people who like young kids who want to descend against something, and they go and they descend against racism or homophobia or fucking whatever nonsense it is. But the truth of the matter is that that's what the system wants you to do. Right? Like, because the system doesn't need racism or homophobia or anything in its nature. It's bad for the system because like the system wants everybody to be successful and pay taxes.
Facts. That's so
right.
It went to basically it's this far left cesspool of political correctness and all the other bullshit that we see being peddled by like the mainstream media, right?
Well, fucking what's his name? Michael Malice has a good saying. He said conservatives are progressives who are doing the speed limit.
He's not wrong.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't stand here and quote people for no reason. You know what I mean? Like like legitimately, in 1970s conservatives would have never been okay with like just homosexuals getting married and being wide open about their shit. You know what I mean? And now, like today, like conservatives are cool with like transgenders being on stage. You know what I mean? Screaming MAGA. You know, I mean, again, like you're just progressives who are doing the speed limit. They're like 30 years behind regular progressives.
See, that's the problem, right? With this fucking cancel culture, political correctness bullshit. It turns everything that was once good and interesting into something that's just fucking, it muddies the waters to the point where you can't even see your own fucking reflection in it, right? Like it just turns everything into a piece of shit. Right, you can keep polishing a turd, but it's still a turd at the end of the day.
Oh, here's the great thing, right? Legitimately, what you can do is you control and you know what I'm saying, enjoy yourself and just plant garbage ass red pills in people's heads, right? And that's what I do, right? Like I went to Jimmy Dore's show and it was a day that George Floyd's family got that $27 million, right? And I said, George Floyd's family got $27 million. Ain't it weird how him and every other black dude who got shot by the police all had child support cases, right? You know what I'm saying? I sent like 3 or 4 of them type of joints in where I was like, it's strange how like 90% of all drug offenders in jail have a child support case. Ain't it weird how we're breeding desperation? You know what I'm saying? And then like I sent another one and it was like, if you leave jail with a child support debt, on average, you go back to jail 4 times. Maybe we should have a talk about something, right? And like you just plant these garbage little red pills in people's heads, you know what I mean? And make them think about things. And you go, wow, listen to these facts, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they like, and people will start looking that shit up and thinking about it. You know what I mean? You just troll motherfuckers to like get them to the point where like they're listening. And, eventually like your dissension, like it's important to like understand that if the Republicans disappeared tomorrow, this whole system would collapse. Right? Because like the left is built on having the right wing boogeyman. And if he doesn't exist, if he just stops existing, then there is no boogeyman.
Yeah. There's nothing to really scare people with at that point.
Yeah.
Fuck, bro.
I've been researching. I've been reading a lot recently. I'm sorry, man.
No, it's good. It's good. That's what fucking people should be doing. Like a lot of people, like these lockdowns are bullshit, right? Like we all know this, or we should by now. But people should have been taking full advantage of like the time and shit, off work. Like if you're gonna ruin somebody's life financially, right, and take a man's and a family's like well-being away from them by closing down their fucking business, right? Like, try to turn that around into something positive at least, and like read. You know what I mean? Like take the time to fucking read and educate yourself and kind of figure out why the fuck things are the way they are now and why they're going in the direction that they're going in. Like you were just fucking doing. Like motherfucker's been doubling down on his bookworm shit. Like that's what people should have been doing. And then like I don't know, like what comes after? Like after we like kind of we get the situation straight and we understand what's going on. Like what comes after? What do we do then?
Make money.
Mm.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Money is freedom.
Well, like number one, money is freedom. Motherfuckers don't know this shit. Right? Like, yo, make money. So, like, for instance, right now, I know the retard just got a bunch of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I bought a bunch of Dogecoin. Right? Because retards are retarded. You know what I mean?
Yo, you're roboting a little bit.
Am I roboting? I'm sorry. Hang on. Let me I'll check my phone. I'll check my phone bag now. Like, yo, fucking Comcast's internet's fucking out where I'm at right now, which is fucking retarded. But yeah, fucking, am I cool now?
Yeah, you're good. Perfect.
All right. Yeah. So, all right. Like I know a bunch of retards are getting money right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like the government's handing out money like it's fucking free. So basically, I just invest what these retards are going to invest in, and then I buy it first and just watch it rise and sell it when it hits its peak. Like, yo, that's what you do. You know what I mean? Like I bought Tesla, I bought Roblox, I bought motherfucking Dogecoin, and I bought Ethereum, right? And I'm just gonna sit back and watch it run to the fucking moon, and I'm gonna make a shit ton of money. And you know what I mean? I'll cash out when it's all done with. And you know, when everybody else is suffering, I'll have a pocket full of money because these retards lost all their shit.
Exactly. Right. So crypto is big now. Crypto is big, like really fucking big. And I'm gonna try to get you into the server. I mean, it's all about crypto and shit, right? You could probably school some people, maybe. I don't know, but
no, they'll probably school me, man. I'm not super big into crypto, but I know crypto could never be like an actual currency until like they have one of them that has say like 50 trillion fucking units or some shit like that, so we could actually liquidate across the planet as far as things are concerned, right? And everybody could use it, and therefore it's a viable alternative rather than something like Bitcoin where like it's $52 a piece. Like that's way too expensive for a single fucking coin. You know what I mean? You want something that's closer to $1. But yeah, you want something that's not an investment asset. You know what I mean? As a whole. But that's what they're doing. But anyway, right? Fucking like, yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm standing here, you know what I mean? And I'm making money off these morons being morons.
That's kind of what it comes down to. I mean, see, I lit up. I shouldn't have done that, right? Because now we're going to be all over the place. That's just how my mind works. I'm going to be like connecting spider webs and shit. I'll be connecting points that don't even relate to each other, but somehow.
Yo, it's cool, man. As long as we ain't talking about the mud floods, we all right,
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Like as long as it ain't like, man, there's giant there's giant Titan penises underneath of the mountains and shit.
Like this man's in the middle of explaining how cryptocurrencies work, and I'm like, yo, that's really interesting, Tom Pease. But like, you live out in the boonies, right, in the mountains. You know those aren't mountains, right?
Yeah, they're Titan penises. In the end of the day, like, yo, they're giant Titans that are laying underneath of those mountains right now. If you go inside of those mountains, you can pull out their organs, right? You know what I'm saying? And those rocks, they're fucking petrified remains of Titan motherfucking Titan organs and shit. Like, shut up, nigga. They all died in the mud flood. Like, I swear to God, I'll punch you in the face. Bill Gates and the motherfucking Bilderbergers are trying to murder everybody in the world because they also own the banks, which require infinite growth of population. So they just want everybody to die. So profit because they're all invested in casket companies. Like that sounds like a short-term investment plan, my friend.
They're all invested in FEMA, ladies and gentlemen. All right, they're all invested in the FEMA coffins. They're making trillions, tens of trillions of dollars off the FEMA contracts. They've got the space aliens coming down soon. That's why the Pentagon's been blasting all this extraterrestrial propaganda. The aliens are going to partner with the giants and the mud fossils, and they're going to actually they're the ones actually controlling build the burgers.
Like everybody knows, right? Everyone knows in the end of the day that if you're a drug dealer, the first thing you want to do is kill all your clientele, right? That's it's like goal number one: murder everybody, right?
Murder everybody because profit.
You don't want to be selling shit because profit. Like, shut up, stupid. Like,
that's the way to profit. You got to hold on to all of your, your assets, your drugs, whatever it is you're selling. You want to hold on to that and never sell them ever. And if you do, only sell it sparingly because you want to make sure that you spend more on your supply than you get back in profits, ladies and gentlemen. That's smart fucking business, is what that is.
You want to sell everybody rat poison, right? So they just keep coming back for another hit of rat poison. Like that's what we want to do right now.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious. That dude left my server. I got to invite you to the new server. My other one got taken down. I got to invite you to the new one. This is the dude, Max. He left my new server, right? Because he would come into VC and people would be talking about completely unrelated shit, and he'd hop in and he'd be like, I just want you to know that hey, the CIA has made every single rap album in existence. Okay.
Oh, yo, I started a fucking reaction channel too, by the way.
Word.
Like, I'm sorry why he was talking about rap. I was like, yo, I started a reaction channel, right? Because like, whatever, right? And I called it Appalachia Reactions, right?
The silverback takes. No, but like no, link I'll get the link for your YouTube channel. Is it on your YouTube channel or is it a separate channel?
It's a separate channel. It's called Appalachia Reactions, right? Like, yo, fucking, but I'll be reacting. Like, I did my first 3 videos were like country music, right? And like, one of them was so bad that I just had to like bitch about it the whole time, right? And then like I did Joe Budden song.
Yeah.
From a red pill perspective, and then I did Cannabis is Beast from the East, which if you're a rap nerd, like Cannabis is Beast from the East joint for the Lost Boys, it's probably the greatest verse in all of rap. In the end of the day, a lot of niggas don't know that shit. But anyway, like, yeah, so you were saying the CIA is like, putting like fucking like alien fucking, goddamn programming inside of rap music, because like they want everybody, to do crack and shoot themselves in the head in the hood. Like that's because profit, right? Because
profit. Like he kept coming into voice chat. Yeah, I'll link both of those both of your YouTube channels in the description. No worries, I got you. But like, what was I saying? Yeah, that dude kept coming into VC, and he was, he'd bring up the most crazy shit in the world. He'd talk about the fucking mud floods. He'd talk about the fucking CIA creating all rap music for all time and shit, trying to mind control the youth. He'd talk about fucking like, what the fuck was he saying? Something about the menthol cigarette ban, how that was linked to the UFO shit. I'm like, Max, I don't know. I wish I could think on your level, but
the aliens is like vampires and shit. The vampires don't like garlic. The aliens is allergic to menthol.
You see, they need to ban the menthol cigarettes gradually, state by state. Eventually, they'll be completely eradicated from the world, and that's what we need to have happen because the elites are trying to get rid of the menthol because the aliens, the interdimensional space demons, and the aliens actually are both allergic to menthol. They can't make their appearance on the Earth until the menthol is gone. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to start using the CIA's rap game program.
I swear to God, let me find out aliens is allergic to menthol. I'm loading up shotgun shells full of menthol. Like I'm just loading up cough drops in my motherfucker. Just unloading on niggas.
What's that movie? Was it Independence Day? At the end of the movie, the fucking you see the alien, the pod or whatever it's in open up, and it breathed in the air from the Earth's environment, and it died.
No, that was fucking the Tom Cruise dip. That wasn't Independence Day. That was War of the Worlds.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, like what was the cause of death? It's like, oh shit, it was just allergic to like oxygen or some bullshit.
No, like it was like it didn't all these time. It didn't build up the fucking like the Jones bacteria or whatever, right? Like them niggas like caught HIV from our blood and shit. Like, God, they would know that first. They've been throwing the gays in front of these motherfuckers.
Max is like, all right, what happened? That was actually a veiled thing because they were trying to communicate to us on an esoteric level, ladies and gentlemen, is that was menthol. All right, they were breathing in the menthol, and that's what killed them. It's all predictive programming in the movies. All right, it's all there. We got to get rid of the menthol for our interdimensional space demon overlords to come down and make their appearance. I'm like, Max, listen, I don't want to accuse you of smoking crack, but
like nigga, like you was doing meth in a RV right now.
This dude lives in somebody else's trailer down by a fucking river in the middle of like fucking unknown territory, Georgia or something.
Like this nigga lives on an Indian reserve with a fucking trailer wrapped in Reynolds aluminum foil and shit.
He's so fucking nuts. The fucking native elders and shit who do their psychedelic rituals are like, yo, you're too much for us. Please, like
you need to stay away. The fuck down, like, Jesus Christ.
So here, take some of this peace pipe. All right.
Like I was doing a show with him every week, right? Yeah. And he used to get super mad at me and leave the stream on a regular basis because, like, I'd be like, Max, all right, do you have any evidence to back this up? Yeah, I have documentation. All you got to do is read this UN declaration and watch this video. I'm like, nigga, I am not fucking watching a 3-hour video with this nigga with a neck beard. I'm just not doing it. Like, and he doesn't seem reliable, son. Like, let me be honest with you. Like, you look at the background of where the fuck he's streaming from. It looks like he has jars of his own pee. Like, bruh, calm down.
What is it with like the people who come up with like these otherworldly crazy ass fucking theories, and then when you ask them for like, yo, what, like, you got a citation to some shit that backs this up, and they always go, yo, I got you, bro, I got you, and then they link you to like Dip's channel or something, you know what I mean?
Yo, like, nigga, I don't care what this dusty ass nigga is saying right now. It's shit, like.
And they're always like, yeah, go, this is official documentation straight from the CIA's own website, and it turns out to be like a doctored piece of documentation that the dude with the neck beard and the piss jars in the background typed up himself, and he put it on a fake CIA website or something. Okay. And they're like,
do you have good internet, and are you on your computer?
Yeah.
Okay, can you open a new tab real quick for me?
Yeah, I got you.
I want you to do me a favor, all right?
All right.
Okay, I want you to do me a favor. Click in www. IT. Hang on, man. I got to spell this out real quick. Hang on a minute. All right. ANIMULLI.com.
It's loading. Dun dun dun. From government conspiracies and UFOs to the NSA and CSS official website disguised as Illuminati spelled backwards. Welcome to the stuff that they don't want you to know.
Like, yo, legitimately, and that is a troll that somebody did like fucking 15 years ago. They bought that domain and made it link to that fucking website, right? Like, yo. But like, so many people have sent me this shit and go, look at this, man. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dummy. Like,
yo, it's for anyone listening, right? Like, I type in the website and it comes up as the NSA's official website. and it's fucking hilarious. Like this, is this the legit website or is this a bogus
Yeah,
website?
that's a legit NSA website.
All right, that's the NSA's website. All right, word. So, send this to people like that. Send this to people who are so fucking easy to fool, right? Like you get a kick out of it. I remember this shit now. I think you linked this shit to me like last year.
I did.
Yeah, you were like, Illuminati spelled backwards is actually the NSA, and I was like, "What the fuck you talking about, nigga?" And he was like, you don't believe me? Go ahead, type in www.illuminatibackwards.com. I was like, "What the fuck's this dude talking about?" I hit that shit. I was like, that freaked me out for a minute. But then, like, another Google search came up, and it was like, "Don't be alarmed. This website is a fake," or something like that. I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah, that's genius, though. That's a good troll. Like, does the NSA know about
that? Yeah, but like legally, they can't do anything about it because any website can link to a government website because it's a government website. They can't stop nobody from doing it.
Oh my god, that's beautiful. Oh, god damn. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
These trolls are professionals out this bitch. Like, yeah.
This is good work. God damn. Yo, I'm gonna throw this in the fucking conspiracy section of my server just to fuck with people.
Yo, you should legitimately. Niggas is dumb, but like this is what I'm saying. I'm like, I know all the things. Like, y'all need to stop. Like, stop saying things like that are but stick with shit we can prove. All right.
That's not a bad idea.
I made a video yesterday, right? And they had this new Jones from the Rand Corporation, the CFR, and the Pentagon, right?
Yeah.
And it said they ran this war game where if China unleashed a biological weapon onto the fucking South Pacific, like aircraft carriers or whatever, they would end up losing a war to China over Taiwan. And I'm like, yeah, you don't have any goddamn people. They'd all be dead from the fucking China virus or whatever.
Yo, I need to keep up with what is it? No, fuck that. I need to keep up with like your channel, right? Because like it's kind of where bullshit goes to die. You know what I mean? Like it's it's a good like vetting source. Like, don't even read the actual article. All right, don't do that. Don't fucking listen to.
I'll read you the article. That's usually what I do. I read the actual article. So like, all right, here's what they're saying. And then I'm gonna give you a breakdown, you know what I mean? Like what the fucking actual deal is. Because like I'm not a conspiracy theory dude, but on the same point, if I see bullshit, I'm like all day, it's that simple.
Yeah. See, that's that shit that makes like legitimate conspiracies look fucking ridiculous, right? It's all the bullshit that like people like fucking Max St. Jerome and shit come up with, and they're like fucking the Titan penises and the connection between the menthol and the aliens and shit. And it's this completely takes away from like legitimate shit like fucking what's that thing Operation Mockingbird. Like it takes away from shit like that you can fucking prove. And then people are like, yo, fuck this shit over here because this nigga over here is trying to tell me that there's a link between menthol and alien overlords and shit.
Like there's channels that are way bigger than mine that be talking about they're creating unnatural food shortages on purpose. I'm like, why? It would kill everybody. Why? Explain to me why. And they have no answer. Right? Like their only way to go is like, oh man, fucking, there's like Max Jerome said, there's big money in death, right? And I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? There's big money in death. Like, what type of dumbass excuse is that?
That's the exact opposite. You know what I mean? Like, and it's that, right? I'm high as fuck. It's that, and it's the depopulation people, because they're always like they're trying to depopulate the earth and get us down to 500 million. It says so right here in the Georgia Guidestones.
Give me 5 minutes. I gotta take a shit. I'll be right back.
I got you.
Like, it's emergency. I was drinking beer earlier and I got shit now. I'll be right back.
All right. So how do I fill the dead air? So basically, I should have split this, honestly. I should have like put a pause on the technocracy stuff, because now I'm like just kind of having fun, you know, shooting the shit, talking about bullshit, because I've been swamped with too much serious shit the past like couple of months or so. So it's good to let your damn fucking hair down and light up a blunt, or drink a beer or whatever, and just bullshit with your friends. It's healthy. It's good for you. I don't know. I think the problem with legitimate conspiracies, no, there's not a problem with them, right? It's more so the people who they poison the well. They're the one bad apple that unfortunately tends to spoil the bunch, right? Like, because you got people like the ones we're talking about who will sit there and tell you about the connection between menthol and the alien overlords, and their connection to the Nazi occult Vril society, and how they're the ones actually behind everything, running shit, and how they're partnered with A&W Root Beer Corporation. You know, they make the legit shit look bad. They make the legit shit look unbelievable, and so therefore people don't take any time to look into that shit, like Operation Mockingbird or Operation Chaos, Project MK Ultra, that sort of thing, where there's actual black and white CIA documentation on the shit that you can go and read for yourself, straight off like their own websites and shit. But once you're able to discern between the two, you know, this is bullshit and this person is off their rocker versus this has grounding in reality, that shit doesn't really bother you anymore. At least it shouldn't. And, you know, it becomes easier to ignore. Those people become more so of like mosquitoes around a bonfire, or you know, whatever, a barbecue pit. You just kind of gotta swat them away. Excuse me. Oh, I shouldn't have smoked, because the way when I'm sober, I'm a little more organized and there's more clarity mentally. And when I'm like drinking or I light up, things get a little more hazy and hard for me to follow. Connections get blurred. So just bear with me. Bear with me to the best of your ability. We're just having fun at this point. We're just going to keep going until there's nowhere to go to anymore. So, Tom Pease, ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to go over to his YouTube channel, Pnoid News, and check out his content. It's grade A, down and dirty, real shit. That's what it is. It's like I said earlier, it's where bullshit and propaganda go to die, more or less. And also check out his new channel. I think he said it's Appalachian Reactions or something like that. I'll link both of his channels in the description of this video, though. Go check my boy out. He's funny, he's entertaining, he's educational, and he's real. And that's all you need to know. In the meantime, God damn, my mouth is dry. Cotton mouth. That's a problem with cannabis. For me, anyway. I always get cotton mouth. My mouth gets dry as fuck. And I feel like I haven't had a single drop of water in days. Like I'm wandering in a fucking desert somewhere. Excuse me. God damn, time flies. It's already 3:30 in the morning. Oof. I should be getting my bike back soon, though. I had to give it to my mechanic friend to make some repairs on the kickstart, and there's something wrong with the electrical startup system. So hopefully he'll be able to do something about that. I met this dude back in like June or July, and he's originally from China, and he's living here and studying here in the States to become a full-blown mechanic. It's sort of a family tradition. His dad was a mechanic, and so he taught him growing up about the shit. So now he's going to be a mechanic. He's this young dude. He's like 20 or 21, and he's really good with cars and with bikes, scooters, whatever. He'll fix your shit up. I've been going to him for like 6 months now for all my mechanical bullshit, and he does great work, phenomenal work. Never had a problem with any modifications or repairs that he's made on my bike. So once he wants to eventually open up a small business and do his own thing that way instead of working for like another company or something. So once he gets that up and running, I'll happily give a shout out to his business once it gets off the ground. He does good work, and I believe people who do good work, people who are real, deserve the business, deserve the views or the money or whatever the case, the honor and the recognition, whatever the case may be, because they're just that damn good. Ain't that what we're missing though in our society? We're missing those aspects in people and in our culture in general. Honor, integrity, manhood, the hero, right? The archetypal hero has died, more or less. That's a sad thing. God damn. But hey, at least at some point in the near future, we'll have a global technocratic hive mind of, fucking automatons, stripped of any and all originality and individuality. So we got that to look forward to, so we won't have to worry about any of this shit anymore. We won't have to worry about all the issues plaguing our society. I'm being sarcastic, of course. I'm condescending to the idea. But it is what it is. You don't have to accept it, though. Like, you could, Tom Pease was talking about this a little while ago. You could go and read dudes like, what's his name? Ted Kaczynski. You could, he was right on a lot of things, especially the subject of the technological takeover and whatnot. He was right on the money about all that. You could go and read his manifesto and other works, like my boy Derek Brose. He's a big time local activist out in Houston, Texas, who also writes on this and other topics. He has a book out called what is it? I think it's how to opt out of the technocracy. Derek Brose, DERRICK Brose, BROZE, how to opt out of the technocracy. I'm pretty sure you can buy his book for pretty cheap off Amazon, and I think you can purchase the audiobook on Audible as well, or you can contact him directly on Facebook. He's with a group called the Houston Free Thinkers, and you can talk to him more about it if you're interested in that sort of thing. But either way, you don't have to accept the technocracy bullshit if you're not down with that ideology. You could reject it. You could read books like the ones that were mentioned and learn about it, what the objectives are, what the nature of such a system would be and is, and how to better fight back against it and reject it wholesale.
Man, listen, there are times when it's like, I got to take a shit. I'll be right back. And there's times like, oh my fucking God, I almost shit myself. You know what I'm saying? That was one of those times.
I feel you. You ever have to, like, you you ever not have to move your fucking bowels, but then when you get closer to your house, whether you're walking or driving or something, and out of nowhere you gotta go like a motherfucker?
Oh, that happens all the goddamn time. Everybody has that shit, especially when it's colder, right? Like, when it's cold, like it's something about the cold. Like, it's like your body be trying to like squeeze itself in to stay warm, and then like it just pushes the shit the fuck out. It's terrible. But yeah, man. So you was talking about how to fight this better, right?
Yeah.
Well, what you gotta do is you have to live like the old world individuals used to live, right?
Mhm.
Where like when you came in as an immigrant and like you had households where like inside of the house they only spoke Italian, right?
Mhm.
That's how you have to live. But like you just can't show it on the outside, so they don't try to fight you.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta like you kind of gotta like almost do more or less what you're doing, right? Like you gotta kind of you gotta get out back into like sort of the wild to some extent, like in the mountains and the woods, whatever, like set up shop, build your own little kind of, whether you want to do it as an individual or like as a small little community, build your shit up that way, get off the fucking grid as much as possible, right? And do it, try to do it under the radar so they don't like immediately fucking come after you, right? Because like that's something else I've wondered about. Like let's say that happened, right? Like, you know, you or me went and did that and we're like, all right, word, we don't got to worry about that bullshit now. How long do you think it would be though before like, I don't know, like the fucking Bureau of Land Management or something came out and they were like, y'all can't do this, and fucking raised their guns to us and shit? Like, how do you think that would be a thing? Or
Like 10 minutes, something like that. let me say it like this, right? So there's a local guy right here who he has a car channel, and it's a big car channel, got like fucking like 2 million subscribers, right?
Mhm.
And it's called 717 or Street Speed 717, right? Which is my local fucking phone code. He lives like right down the road from me, and I see him driving around every once in a while. But he took his truck off into his private property that he bought and was jumping it like over like streams or whatever, because he has like one of those like Dodge fucking trucks that are like set up for Bahaing or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like I keep adding an M for some reason, like Bahama Mamas, right? But fucking like so. Like he had his truck set up for that, and he was jumping over these streets, these creeks and streams, and they charge him with felonies for doing so because they said he was destroying a creek and destroying the creek bed and fucking polluting and fucking destroying the habitat of fish.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, they always become magically these like hardcore environmentalists as soon as they see that somebody is doing their own thing, you know, off their fucking radar. They're like, yo, what's the excuse we can make to go after this individual and shut them down? Oh, I know. You're fucking with the ecosystem of the sunflower.
Okay, if I can channel my inner Dip here for a second, I'm gonna bring up a movie. Because Dip be like, the WWE explains everything in economics. Like, shut up, nigga.
The WWE locker room politics. It explains everything. It explains the pyramid of power.
Like, yo, shut up, nigga. I swear to God. Right? Like, yo, so I was standing here, and I was watching Ford versus Ferrari. If you ever have a chance to watch a movie, it's a great movie, right? And it's made, I think, by like HBO or some shit or Showtime, one of the two. And they have this part where like Carol Shelby and the one dude is sitting there at this diner, and they're having a conversation at I'm not gonna say the beginning of the movie, but like midway through the beginning of the movie. And they're talking about how like Ford came to Carol Shelby and asked them to build a car that would win Le Mans, right? And this dude goes, "You really think they're gonna let you do what you want to do?" Right? Yeah. And Carol Shelby said it's coming directly from the top. And he goes, you do understand they have offices full of attorneys and lawyers and, fucking pencil pushers who they hate you because you're not like them.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's a really good statement right there to explain all that shit. Like, and they hate themselves for being that way, but really they hate you even more because you're not part of their fucking system.
Yeah. It's like the cliques in high school, except like, except they have like ungodly amounts of fucking, political financial power and shit. That's about the only difference.
Well, think of it this way. You ever seen Belly?
Belly. Is that another movie?
Yeah, it is. Right. It's with Method Man and Nas and DMX and shit. Right. It's like a black movie, right? But like it's about them moving coke across the country or whatever, right? And they were shipping coke into Nebraska. And like motherfucking, there was a dude out in Nebraska who, these dudes were just in general doing better than, you know what I'm saying? And like they were, like DMX and Nas were out here like selling coke in their neighborhood or whatever. And like this dude who's like the hottest nigga in Nebraska, right? Which is, by the way, if you ever meet some like hillbilly from the middle of nowhere who thinks he's something important, right? You go, oh, is this the hottest nigga in Nebraska right now? Right. That's like the best insult for that guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, but like he sat there and said, oh man, I'm gonna have to drop dime on those niggas. You know what I mean? But that's the mentality though. Like, yo, they're like, oh man, you got shine, you doing better than me. Like, yo, I'm gonna have to drop a dime on this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Immediately. Like nobody has that mentality of where you want other people to do better.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you're like one of these big corporate conglomerates, right? Like, because they're the ones who, to bring it back to like the lockdown nonsense, they're the ones who they didn't lose anything. Like they didn't, if anything, they gained business, they gained profit, they stayed floating above, high above the small business owners who did get fucked over and lost all or most of their business and had their homes foreclosed on. They couldn't afford rent and all.
I don't know what that is. All right, I have no idea what that is. All right, I saw one business close down because like that motherfucker didn't feel like continuing, right? But everybody else around me shined, and like all these businesses in my neck of the woods are fucking locally owned businesses.
You know what the problem is, right? The problem is the problem is where you're from, people have the fucking right idea, right? So that's the issue. It's fucking culture, bro. Because if you come out here to the suburbs of like, I don't know, fucking Boston or New York or something, like they have a different mentality for the most part. If a big corporation comes on through and they're like, hey, we're going to shut your shit down, or some policy gets passed that says the same thing, they just kind of put their hands up and they go, oh, all right. And they go along with it, right? They're kind of bitch made. But if that happened where you're from, like they're going to have a fight on their hands. Like, like it's not going to go that smoothly.
Like the thing is like you can come in here, but you're not gonna be like, all right, for instance, like we have truck stops, right?
Yeah.
And so like we actually have local truck stops, right? Like we have like a chain restaurant called Rudders, right? It's a convenience store. It's like, you ever heard of Wawa's?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Rudders is like Wawa's, but better, right? Because like Rudders has like, you can go into Rudders and they have touch screens where you can order made to order food 24 hours a day. Right. And they have cooks behind the line who make the food 24 hours a day. Right. And then they have local shit that gets sold, like, scrapple or, fucking buffalo jerky or buffalo meat or fucking deviled eggs or, fucking pickled eggs or fucking somebody's local fucking peanut butter eggs that they made from their fucking joint. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's all local food. Right. And so Love's came in and tried to start a fucking truck stop, and Love's refuses to sell any local stuff, right? Any of it. They will not sell anything from the area. And Rudders came in and put a joint in right next door and shut them down.
That's what it is. That's classic. Like, what is it like? Competition, really, right? Because like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like your business refuses to expand on like the what it offers people in terms of services. All right, so this other business is going to come in and be like, all right, if you don't want to do that, we'll happily do that. Don't bitch when we steal your customer base, though. Like, that's what they wanted from you, but you didn't give it to them, so that's what we
Like, do you know like what type of chips do y'all have up there?
chips.
Yeah, like potato chips.
We got like fucking, all the basic shit, Lay's, Cape Cod, that sort of,
That's it.
basic bitch shit. Yeah, pretty much more or less Doritos.
Well, see, we don't have that here, right? We got Middlesworth and Utz and Snyder's and motherfucking the goddamn Lancaster Kettle Cook Company, right? You know what I mean? Like, and this is what we live on, right? Like, we only eat local food here. Right. So like if you offer us a bag of Lay's, we'll tell you to go fuck yourself.
Yo, do not bring a bag of Lay's potato chips to a fucking barbecue where you're from. You know
no,
what I mean?
no, we don't pull that shit. We don't play that garbage. We ain't eating that fucking garbage. Get the fuck out of here. Right?
Yo,
like you gotta bring some Middlesworth or some shit, some motherfucking Middlesworth barbecue or something. Get you a weekender joint.
Bring you a cow or something, like a whole fucking cow. Like, yo.
Like, and this is kind of where I'm at. This is what I was like trying to tell Max. I'm like, nigga, like, yo, I don't know what y'all talking about. Like, you can like, I showed him the pictures of where the fuck I'm from, right? Like, because I brought up maps of like all the food and restaurants near me, right? And I was like, show me where there's a fucking chain restaurant.
Yeah.
There isn't any. There is none. They can't survive in my neck of the woods.
You're like one of the y'all are like a holdout for the old ways. Like, y'all still have that whole like, this is the community, this is the fam, don't fuck with us, right? Like, don't fuck with us, we won't fuck with you, end of story. Like a lot of other places, that's a value that's all but lost, right? Because they're just like, well, if they said we had to shut down, so we shut down, and they said we can't go here or there without a mask, blah blah blah, so that's what we did. And it's like, all right, well, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of gets cynical, because I'm like, well, maybe you deserve to live this shitty quality of life then, because you kind of gave it to these people on a silver platter.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I'm at. Like, yo, y'all motherfuckers need to like think about what you grow locally and eat that. You know, I mean, it's kind of important. Like, I know, like, I live in like, the food capital of the country, right? Like, I understand this, like, fucking, like, legitimately, like, we have everything here. Like we provide everybody else with shit. Like, Hershey's is right down the road. Kit Kat, Reese's, fucking M&M Mars, they're all based in this area, right? And then like we have like Turkey Hill and fucking Swiss dairies and shit. So like, I've never had Ben and Jerry's ice cream, right? Because like, we have our own shit. We have Turkey Hill, nigga. It's 100% better. You know what I mean? Like, like we literally, like, we have people. We check us out. We have a place called the Farm Show Complex, right? Which basically every year they have what's known as the Farm Show. And the Farm Show is like an expo for livestock and animals, and the kids come and pet the sheep or whatever. You know what I mean? It's cool. But I'll be honest with you, 5 million people a year show up to this motherfucker just to come get a milkshake.
I mean, that speaks volumes, though, right? Like, that's clearly there's some quality there that they're not getting where they're from.
Yo, it's that simple. You know what I mean? Like, everything we eat is local. Everything. You know what I mean? Short of like oranges and tangerines and shit. You know what I mean? Like fucking tropical fruit. But like, we live locally. Like, every diner you go to has Scrapple on the fucking menu.
See, all right. So not only are you guys like a big food capital, right? But like, you got to understand, you guys also have something there that's very valuable that people often overlook, and that's alley biscuits. Like,
Well, Holly biscuits exist everywhere, right? And like me and my buddy are working on making a cartoon about Alley biscuits, right? You know, and like, well, it's gonna be based off of like, you know, what I mean, like the white trash no state, but it's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, you know, what I mean, a bunch of motherfuckers standing here. Like the first episode is gonna be about them trying to ban Alley biscuits, right? You know what I mean? It's gonna be some Karen standing up in the middle of court trying to ban Alley biscuits and shit. And like, you know what I mean, because like a little fucking hoodlums riding around on motorcycles with shotguns strapped on their back and shit, or little dirt bikes or whatever, right? They're gonna be throwing Alley biscuits through everybody's windows, right? And in the end of the day, this Karen's husband's gonna start to get beat up by this Debo nigga, right? You know what I mean? And like, you know what I'm saying, fucking one of the kids hits Debo with an Alley biscuit, right? And fucking then like I stomp on the street and an Alley biscuit breaks off and a guy hits fucking Debo with an Alley biscuit and like smashes him to death. And like fucking Karen's like, oh, you saved my husband, right? Maybe Alley biscuits aren't so bad. And it's kind of, you know, it's gonna be like, you know, like an allegory for guns or whatever. But like ultimately, you know what I mean? Like fucking, you know, I'm gonna make a cartoon about Alley biscuits. Just highly important.
I feel like you should. I feel like you should because like Alley biscuits are like the last. Listen,
They're like the last weapon of the hood left.
I mean, more basically, right? Because you know, I mean, my mom taught me this when I was growing up. She said, if you're ever in a fight, you know, and you're outnumbered, you're getting jumped or whatever, you basically use anything around you that you fucking can as a weapon to level that shit out. Right, like so. As far as I'm concerned, that's what an Alley biscuit is. It's a fucking equalizer. Yeah. I mean, if you're in a situation where it's like 3-on-1 and you're like, "Fuck, this is getting taxing," you're getting your ass handed to you. You could always reach for a fucking Alley biscuit, and that's like that'll do it. You that'll take somebody out like that, right? Like, yeah, nobody that I know of personally who has gotten smashed in the head with a rock still stood up unharmed after the fact.
Like, let me be
it's
real.
A very effective weapon.
Like, yo, I saw a nigga beat another nigga almost to death, right? When the first guy brought a bat, right? And this nigga picked up a recycling fucking container and whooped this nigga's ass with it, right? You know, and he damn near beat him to death with a recycling container and then somebody threw an Alley biscuit, right? Like, fucking, that's how it's supposed to work in the end of the day.
My man said he got a recycling bin, an Alley biscuit, and a fucking 3-piece with no napkin. Like
no napkin.
How are you gonna get hit with the trifecta of Philly?
It's like, yo, home Philly.
You got hit with the trifecta, bro. Like it's bad enough to hit with one of those fucking things. You hit a nigga with 3 of them. Listen, if they're still standing, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger that you're fighting.
that nigga's a Terminator. Terminator. It's a Terminator. It's a Terminator.
Yeah. Oh shit! Yeah, I already made it clear to people at this point. Like we're just fucking talking shit. Like you know, it is what it is. There's some serious shit mixed in, but it's some shooting the shit nonsense too, and that's what it should be about. Like. I've been swamped like literally with too much serious shit for the past couple of months. Like I'm over it, right? Like I'm like fuck it. Like yo, let's have some fun.
I feel you. I was gonna do this tonight, but I was drunk and I fell asleep. I woke up and you were streaming. I was like, yo, this nigga's live. Let me go talk to him, right? Because like he is way more fun to talk to than everybody the fuck else. You know, like everybody else wants to talk about this serious shit, and I gotta like educate people. But with Eric, it's like, fuck the education. Like, yo, let's talk about Alley biscuits.
We can make a whole video talking about the anatomy of an Alley biscuit.
Like, yo, real shit.
Yo, what the fuck? Where's Floyd been? Where the fuck is
that? Yo, Floyd got kumita'd.
Yo, he. Yo, this is like, is this the first time or did he get kumita'd like again?
Again.
All right. What happened?
I recorded the video of it, right? Of him getting kumita'd, right?
I might have upload that shit.
I made a video out of it and I put it on the Appalachian Reactions channel, right? unfortunately, for some reason, my microphone wasn't working. I don't know what the fucking deal was. It was retarded, but you know, I mean, fucking everybody else's was. And like, so Floyd was on my stream. Then he called everybody in the chat in my stream out and said, meet me in Discord. We're going to have this out. And then Floyd proceeded to get his ass handed to him. Right.
Well, I don't know why he'd do that. My boy's built like a fucking heroin addict. Like it's,
yo, he's built like Uncle Rico. Like,
he's built like only one of your fucking arms. Like I don't understand.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you know, like, his arms is too short to box with a god. Like, yo, the fuck is wrong with him? Right? But like, he was on. Like, it wasn't about me. It was about everybody else that like. And then he called in Blue Parasite for help. Right?
Yeah.
Which is.
Yo, that's like, yo, would you like to phone a friend? And Floyd went through the Rolodex of the dumbest niggas he could think of. And he said, "Yeah,
this
Blue
nigga
Parasite."
That's like, yo, he was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and he called Simple Jack. Like, yo, what the fuck are you doing, nigga? Like, yo, like you in a tag team match with your partner's a midget. Like, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
This is like WWE. He's going up against like the entire roster, and they're like, "Yo, you need to pick one dude to fucking be your partner." And he said, "Yo, I think I'm gonna take Hornswoggle." Like,
he said Hornswoggle. He said, I'm a fucking call R-Truth in here to help you out. Nigga came in talking about spiders and shit.
I'm gonna call little Jimmy. You know, this man doesn't even exist. He's R-Truth friend.
He called him Blue Parasite for backup, right? As he was just getting fucking dog piled. And I'm letting it happen because I'm like, nigga, you asked for this dumb shit, right? And everybody in the fucking calls just like, come on, Floyd, you know what I'm saying? Calm down, or we're gonna make you fucking, you know what I mean, fucking shoot the goddamn CIA and shit, right?
The last time he was on one of my streams a few months ago, he stood here with a straight face and like the confidence in his voice, right? He said, "Yo, I don't give a fuck if the CIA comes to my doorstep. I'll fucking shoot them. I'll take them all out." And we were like, "Yo, you probably won't, but you know, it'll make for some good content for sure." Like
make sure you're live when you do that, right? and then you know what I'm saying? He ended up like fucking falling down the steps or some nonsense, and his fucking grandma came over and goes, "Eddie, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Eddie?" Right? And then like, yo, and then I started him his own channel on my Discord, right? Called Eddie, Are You Okay? Right? Just to put up all the dumb shit that he says and does.
Yo, he really sat there with what's he drink? That cheap shit. He probably had like a fucking
natural ice.
That Natty Ice, that tall boy of Natty Ice. He had one of those shits in his hand, and he was sitting there like, "Oh, fuck the CIA. I'll kill a fucking nigga named the CIA." And he tripped and he fell down like 3 stairs, right? he was laid out, and all we heard in the background, like you said, was this fucking great. That was hilarious. All we heard was just, "Eddie, are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah." He sounded like that dude from Idiocracy, my guy. He's like, "Yeah, I'm all right. I like money."
Oh, you're like sex too? But I got what plants need.
Yeah, I'll kill the CIA. How much money? I like money. Are you gonna pay me money? Floyd is that
sucks.
I gotta watch this video now. Is it on? It's on your reaction channel, you said?
Yeah.
I gotta watch this, bro. Like, this is something you gotta make a sandwich to and kind of just sit back, like, "Oh, yo, where's the fireworks at? What the fuck was this about? What was he calling everybody out for? What, were they like fucking on him for the furry shit or something?"
Yeah, basically. Well, no, like just in general, right? Because like he's the piece of shit.
Yeah. That's all there is to it.
Like, he's just a bag of shit motherfucker. Like, in the end of the day, that's what he does. Like, I can't explain it any more simply than that,
Yo, there's a problem with furries on Discord, and I feel like I've had it up to here. It makes me feel more accomplished about firebombing them that one time. Like, I feel good about it now, right? Because I'm like, I feel like that was I feel like I did a charitable thing to for society when I did that, because it's like I don't understand, bro. I don't understand what the appeal is. Like, it's like grown ass men and shit in fur costumes. It's like borderline bestiality or some shit.
Well, that's kind of the deal. Hang on, wait. I'm copying this for you. Copy. I'm gonna send you I'm gonna send you this fucking video so you have it. Fucking, you know what I mean?
Please do. I'll put it in this fucking video description. I'll be like, "Yo, the roast of Floyd." Like,
it's not the roast. It's Floyd's Kumite, right? What it is. Exactly. Fucking, I named it properly.
Let me see.
Hang on. There you go.
Floyd's Kumite.
Floyd decided nice tonight. Okay.
Let's see. All right. Yo, that's what it is. All right. Appalachia Reactions word. I'll link that too. All right.
Decided, and you don't gotta put it out. That's just in general. You like as always, so you can enjoy the fucking nonsense that he does.
Where's your server at? You got to send me an invite to your server.
Oh, fuck. Goddamn. Hang on a minute. Let me go down to my fucking server. Invite numbers. There we go. All right. There you go. You got the invite.
Yo, you're roboting.
Yeah, probably because like I was on goddamn Discord shit. I'll be honest with you. I've been waiting for my fucking Wi-Fi back. And give me 1 second. I'll see if I can fucking. I'm waiting fucking for this bitch to load the fuck up.
God damn. Yeah, they took my server down because they said it was promoting what was it? Not neo-Nazi shit or something like that. I don't know. And they were like, we can't have that. It's like, all right. Whatever.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, that's much better.
All right, yeah. There we are, man. Fucking yeah, now I'm on Wi-Fi and shit. All right, cool. So I say I can turn this bullshit the fuck off. All right, hang on. There we go. Okay. Now I can turn off my motherfucking Wi-Fi joint and I can, do my own thing. But like, yeah, man, fucking another thing like I've been thinking about here recently, right? Is fucking what the hell is why is it we're worried about kids going to school?
If anything, that's a good thing that less kids are going to school.
Yeah, that's kind of my mentality.
like, why would you want your kid to go to a public school? Like, have you been seeing what they're teaching them lately? You know what I mean? And like, public school just churns out idiots anyway, right? Like, fact of the matter is, you're better off just teaching your kid yourself and the whole village concept thing. Like, because schools these days are just like, they're just kind of indoctrination centers at this point. You know what I mean? Like government.
Well, like here's my mentality, right? Like I have never heard a kid say he wanted to go to school.
Yeah.
Right? Ever. Right? Like I remember when I was in school, I fucking hated it every day. You know what I mean? Like I hated every single fucking day of going to school. There was no point where I was ever like, like they said, oh, you're going to have a snow day. And I was like, oh, no, I'm gonna miss school. Never did that fucking happen. Like, yo, they used to like I used to legitimately go into school and light up a cigarette in the principal's office just to get suspended so I didn't have to go to school.
I liked going to school so much. I'd go in, wait for the attendance to be taken. All right, he's here. Go right the fuck back out the side door by the cafeteria. Come back a couple hours later for lunch, get a free fucking lunch, and then leave again. And then go back at like, what was it, 2:30 in the afternoon when school got out, just to meet up with some fucking friends and call it a day. Like, yeah, that's basically what I was doing like 75% of the time when I was going to fucking high school. Like, never once did I fucking say, oh man, I regret not, going more often and sitting in class and blah, blah, blah. Like, it was never a thought in passing. in the few times, right, that I skipped out or I had a sick day or something, a few times that happened and I regretted it was only because that was where I could go because I was messing around with like a girl or something. And we would go to like the gym when it was out or some shit. That's about it. Like, I had no other fucking ties to my fucking school. You know what I mean?
Well, let me say this, right? Like, fucking, so when I was going to school, right, and I hit high school. All right. Do you know what in-school suspension is?
Yeah.
All right. Well, in junior high, I held the record for number of days in-school suspension, right? Like, out of 180 days, I was there 112, right? And then once I got to high school, like, I immediately graduated my punishments, right? So what I did is like, yo, they had like a rule, and I love the rules. I love rules at schools. They're fucking great because that means I know how to game. I can figure out how to game this shit, right? So like, your first job was like a detention. Then if you skip the detention, you get fucking in 1 day in school suspension. And like, if you go into in school suspension, you hit a nigga in the head with an alley biscuit, you get 3 days suspension, right? And then like, you get 5 days, and then 7 days, and then 10 days. And like, if you're still throwing alley biscuits and niggas, they start suspending you out of school for 10 days, right? And but the rule is like, they can only suspend you for 10 days at a shot, and then you got to come back for 2 days, and then you can be suspended again for another 10 if you can figure out a way to be able to be suspended again for another 10 days, right? Well, I was suspended in high school for the vast majority of the year, right? Like, I never went to school, ever. Like, ever. And if I did go to school, like for them 2 days in between the 10, I was so fucking high that I would show up at like 10:30, leave at like 1 when my buzz wore off, and then fucking walk home smoking a blunt. I never went to school, right? And here's the thing, though. I still got like fucking A's in most of my classes because like, I just read the fucking book in the beginning of the year and then take the tests.
Yeah, basically, right. So my grades were like they were passing, like kind of like just barely. Like, I'd get a lot of C's, I know that, but it was to the point where they were like, well, we can't hold you back because this is passing, but you should try to do better, blah blah blah. And I was like, fuck that, right? Like, because like, I'm not, listen, I come here for 3 main things, right? Free food at lunch, just to get the fuck away from the madness at home, and the occasional pizza. That's
that was the whole day. I was go get pussy and like sell my weed. That was the only reason I would go to school, right? And like, the other half is like, I was on probation most of the time I was in high school anyway, right? And my PO was there, right? And so like, I would just get suspended constantly, so I didn't have to deal with him. And when I came in, I'd have to take like a piss test or whatever. So you'd put all your weed and your cigarettes and your knife and shit like up above the goddamn fucking paper towel holder and go in, what I mean? Like, you had your little ankle bracelet or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You had to go in and then, fucking you check in with your PO and you pee in a cup. Because he had like, in my school, like, we were kind of hood. So we had a probation office in the fucking school's office and shit, right?
Yeah, they said, fuck a dean. Yo, we need a fucking staff sergeant in here, bro.
They're like, yo, we need us a correction officer. Like, we know where these kids are heading. Might as well get them accustomed to motherfucking being in jail. Like, we know where y'all going and shit. But yeah, so like, I'd fucking stand here and legitimately I'd be out of school like fucking shit. I think in high school total, like all 3 years of high school that I went, I probably went 70 days in 3 years. You know what I mean? And like in the end of the day, like in my 12th grade year, my 11th grade year when I dropped out, I think I had like a 7% grade point average, right? Because I just stopped caring about school because I was working, I was making money, I was selling weed, like I had my own like crack house and shit. Like life was cool. Like,
yeah. He said I was 11 years old and I had my own trap house, nigga. Like, like I don't understand what they were so worried about. You were clearly a success.
Like I was good
before you even left that bitch. So
like, yeah. I was an entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying? I was an urban pharmaceuticalist, right? And like, I could like, by the time I was 16 years old, I could weigh a wet ounce of cocaine, you know what I'm saying, and eyeball fucking nickel. Like, we was good. Like, I don't know why the fuck it is we was worried about shit. You know what I mean? Like, every once in a while you had to, you know what I mean, throw snitches out the trap house. But for the most part, you sat around and got high and sold your motherfucking drugs and, you know what I mean, knocked niggas out when need be. That was the whole fucking thing. It was cool. It was a great life for about like 3 years.
My man said I was Scarface in high school. Like, he's and fuck the fucking Diaz brothers. Like that's what he was doing when he was like fucking 14, 15 years old. I don't understand, bro, because they're always like, well, you got to finish high school and get that diploma because don't you want a good paying job? Yeah, bro, I do. That's why I'm selling my product. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm selling weed or whatever.
Like, I'm going to leave here and go make $7.25 an hour somewhere. Or actually, back then it was $5.15, right? Because this is way back in the throwback and shit, right? Like, like I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna make fucking $6.25 an hour somewhere because you're gonna fucking you're gonna fucking dump me out of this institution with no skills, right? Like, other than like what high top should I wear today, right? That's the main skill that fucking high school teaches you, and throw the ball at the fat kid in dodgeball. Like that's like, what skill set did you ever get from school that you use later on in life in the end of the day? Right? Like, I had to forget 90% of that shit when I got older because it's all fucking propaganda and nonsense any fucking way. Yeah. Right? And like legitimately, like, y'all niggas ain't teaching me how to do math properly. Like, I need to know how to weigh things in fractions. You know what I'm saying? Because like, we use the metric system over here, right? Like,
I don't get it. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I get it from people all the time, right? Because I did not finish high school, right? I did not finish the shit because like around after I finished 10th grade, I was like, this is bullshit, right? Like, it's just straight up bullshit. Like, I'm not going anywhere here. Like, I'm not learning anything that's gonna actually be applicable to my life and shit. Nothing that's gonna make me money. Nothing that's gonna give me like legitimate freedom and all this shit. So I'm out, right? Like, I'm out. I'm already seeing the flaws in the fucking system and shit. So everyone's like, don't you have like regrets and shit about not finishing? Not really, because now I'm sitting here with this crypto shit, right? Like, I'm selling some shit on the side and I'm doing crypto, right? Like, I'm fucking learning how to do that and profit off that. And I'm making more doing small shit like this that I can just do on my own time and like be my own boss of, than I would going and working for like fucking McDonald's or Walgreens or Walmart or whatever, right? Like, why the fuck would I regret it? I'm making more money. I have way more personal freedom. and like I'm my own boss, right? I tell me what to do and when to do it.
It's not tell me, right? At the end of the day, I feel you, right?
So I don't understand it. People are, oh, I regret, dropping out of high school. I'm like, that's probably because like you never learned to acquire any actual like practical skill set.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this. All right, high school and school in general is not for smart people. All right, and like, it's not. If you were successful in school, it's because you were dumb. All right. Like, in the end of the day, like let me put that out there 100% in the open. All right. If you did well in school, it's probably because you were a fucking asshole and you're dumb. Right. Unlike motherfuckers who come out of like Bill Gates and like all these motherfuckers never graduated college. You know why? Because you don't go somewhere to learn something that you're gonna fucking, to learn something that nobody's done before. All right.
Yeah.
You're not going to learn from somebody else how to do some shit that no one else has ever done. Like in the end of the day, if you want to break the mold, you have to do it yourself. Right. And that's not saying that everybody like has the ability to like be successful outside of school. You know what I mean? Like that just is what it is. Like there's a lot of people like if you're doing okay in school, please keep going because you're probably retarded and we need you to go to school. You're not fucking like on welfare and shit.
What did George Carlin say? He's like, yo, listen, they need those people, the ones who are like just smart enough, who know how to operate the machinery, but just dumb enough to not realize how fucking badly they're being screwed over.
Yeah.
Like they kind of need you, like, and some of the rest of us kind of need you too, because like we, for now anyway, right? Like until automation kicks in, full automation, right? Like that'll be a bitch. How far do you think that's gonna go? By the way, like,
well, let me put this like this, right? End of the day, like if there's nobody there to buy the product, like you can't make a product. So, like people are like, oh well, horses and buggies got eliminated. I'm like, yeah, nigga, but the driver was still there. Like in the end of the day, y'all motherfuckers just talking about replacing the driver. Like, what don't you understand about you can't sell cars to a nigga who ain't driving? Like, like that's just how that works.
It seems so basic, right? Like you're trying to
like, real shit. Like, you can't sell cocaine to niggas ain't got no money. How that works. Like I'm gonna tell you, like real shit. I've tried it before. It does not work out. Like go door to door in a fucking bad neighborhood selling candy bars. Nobody's gonna buy that shit. You know what I mean? Because niggas ain't got no money. Like that's how that operates. Like
I don't know who thought that was a good marketing strategy. Maybe fucking Max St. Jerome was involved in this, but like it was like, yo, I got the perfect idea. I know what'll fucking make us billions of dollars. And they were all gathered together in their little business meeting. They're like, what's up, Max? Show us the fucking diagrams and shit. And he got up and he was like, all right, follow me, right? This is revolutionary shit. So we're going to sell cars, right? We're going to sell these self-driving cars to people who we've all but eliminated the need to drive. Right. And they all went, yeah, sounds good. Like, we're going to sell you something that you don't need anymore. I'm going to sell you a car, but we're going to eliminate the need to drive. I'm going to sell you cancer medicine when we've already found the cure. You know what I mean? Like, It doesn't make any fucking sense. There's no... I don't understand, bro. And people keep going on about these are the people who are like really running shit behind the scenes, blah, blah, blah. Are you sure about that? Like, because the way you're making them out to be these fucking intelligent, super fucking like...
it sounds like these niggas got schizophrenia.
Yeah. You see, they're trying to depopulate us, but they need us to do the work and to profit off our slave labor, but they're also going to kill all of us. What? Yo, those are two incompatible ideas. Like, it's one or the other, nigga. Like
they need exponential growth, so you continue to take loans out and borrow money, but they're going to kill all of us at the same time. What are you going to do with the bad loans? Profit.
What are you gonna do with what are you gonna do with the bad loans? Brondo, nigga. That's what. Yeah,
I like money.
it's got electrolytes, nigga. You know, it's good for plants and shit. That's what we're gonna do with bad loans. Because if you spell bad loans backwards, it actually comes out to Illuminati. So, you know, your argument isn't valid.
Like, this is where I'm at. Like, yo, you can't be this fucking dumb in the end of the day.
Man, I don't know.
I do. Like, you know, I do know. Like, that's the problem is like as a dude, you know what I mean, who, you know what I mean, understands basic math. Like I understand how compound interest works, you know. If you eliminate all of the people, there's nobody to pay for things. That's a bit of an issue, you know. Like that's like you can go ask Germany what's going on right now is all their people are retiring and they have no young people, and they'll tell you that that system doesn't work, you know.
You know who we need in here right now? We need those two fucking those two fucking trans teens from London or whatever the fuck, if you remember those.
Oh niggas. My god, dude, they were trying to deny like, well, if we have negative population growth. What do you mean? It's not true. What, nigga? Like,
it's not true. We, you know, it's not true. We've got the fucking, you know, God save the Queen and socialism works.
Chip, cheerio, and all that fucking retarded ass nonsense, nigga. Like, I don't care about your spotted dick. All right, like, yo, fuck out of here with your nonsense. Like, what are you talking about? Like, yo, there's no way that you think that that's gonna fucking work.
Man, Tom P's put two little fish and chip eating niggas over his lap this one time in my old Discord server while he was driving a truck and shit. Like, and he just kind of had to like blow their backs out, metaphorically speaking.
Yo, that's how it operates. Like I do this constantly. Like I be chin checking niggas and shit. You know, like yo, I'm like, are you sure, bro? Like, I'm pretty sure you're retarded. Like, maybe you should stop. You know,
that's what your YouTube channel is, though, right? Like, it's basically, like I said, it's where bullshit and propaganda go to die, and then it's also where stupid people go to like hopefully get smart. Like,
that's what I'm here for. I am here to make dumb people smarter, right? That's why I like Floyd being around, because I'm like, if I can explain this to Floyd, then any of you retards can get it.
Floyd, you Floyd's the dude you'll sit there and you'll simplify shit to like the umph degree, and like you'll strip it down to the bare basics, right? And you'll be like, did you understand what I just said to you, Floyd? And he'll be like, so what you're saying is Brondo is good for the crops. And you're like,
yes, there we go, buddy. All right, we're good.
Perfect. All right. Now go out into the world and you know, do something productive, I guess. I don't know. What do you even do, Floyd? What do you do?
I used to deliver pizzas until I wrecked my Nissan or whatever the fuck nonsense he fucking God, that guy.
He's not even here and he's getting me pissed off.
He's not even around and he's aggravating at the same time.
Like, just the fact that I know someone like him exists. He's a furry. He's not
even a furry. The nigga don't own a fursuit.
He's like, look, I don't own a fursuit because they're too expensive. Well, bro, listen, like maybe if you did more than collect bottles.
No. How about this? How about you're not a furry? How about that? Saying that. All right, legitimately, like you're only allowed to say you're a furry if you're a furry, right? Like, yo, like I can't say that I'm a millionaire without $1 million, right? Like that's not how this operates in the end of the day.
God damn. Where did Max go? Did you scare him off?
Max? Was he here?
Oh no, he was. He left my server like at some point earlier today, and that's because no one was like dealing with this bullshit anymore in the voice chat. Nigga, like, if you're gonna come in a voice chat and say some bullshit like the menthol ban is linked to the interdimensional space demons, you know, you should probably be prepared to, like, have your fucking shit turned out, you know? Like,
Oh, he gets so mad. Like, yo, he gets so pissed off. He's like, yo, Tom, let me tell you something, Tom. All right. Like, yo, these people, the people that run the world, like Bill Gates, I know you think he's a good person, but, you know, he's really just trying to kill everybody at the same time and make us all eat fucking insect burgers. And I'm like, all right, Max, let's think about this. Okay. So let's work this out. Bill Gates makes money off selling two things, all right? Computers and, like vaccines to people, right? And if neither one of these things sell to anybody, he doesn't make any money. So therefore, why is it that he would stand here and kill everyone that's buying his shit? You don't understand, Tom. There's money, there's profits in death.
You don't understand, bro. There's money in making no money. Like, you need to understand. Listen, let me teach you the ancient economics of fucking Kemet, right? Let me teach you what the fuck that? Let me teach you the fucking Lion of Judah. What the fuck was that? Chronicles of Judah. All right.
Let me teach you. Let me teach you the fucking. Let me teach you. Let me teach you. Let me teach you about Baphomet. All right. Remember, Ben Franklin was actually, a so-called black man. All right. In the end of the day.
What does this have to do with Bill Gates? You'll see, nigga. You'll see. All right. Let me just bring you around this circle. And by the way, that's that saying, everything comes full circle. That's a very esoteric teaching, and it goes back to the Great Pyramid of Giza when it was first erected by the Anunnaki. Let me explain. Hold on. This is going to make sense.
Remember, the lesbianism in the black community is tied to the MK Ultra training, which is originally linked to Los Angeles, which is the land of the rising sun, all right, which is ultimately the seeker of Baphomet and the god Apollo, right? But not Apollo, right, like the theater, but it is like the theater at the same time. Remember, Apollo was a stand-up individual, and in the Apollo theater, you stand up and commit your comedy at the same time. All right, these individuals are MK Ultra handlers. All right, what?
You see, it's royal bloodlines, folks. All right, these people never died. They're like 6,013 years old. All right, they were born out of an Anunnaki wedlock. Okay, they were the Nephilim hybrid offspring, vampiric, interdimensional space demon alien overlords from fucking Jesus Christ. What's that? Hold on, I can't read my script. The lighting is too dim. Hang on.
Remember the Anunnaki, all right? Were originally the people in the Nibiru who were the original individuals who worship Baphomet, right?
They were the goat people, all right? You ever heard?
He was a pan goat god, right? Who was all about, the Pied Piper was the original story about him trying to be a pederast, all right? He'd like to stand here and have sex with children, and then he would kill them, all right? And that's why it is that Baphomet, was tied to, LeBron James.
It's like, what the fuck did you just say?
What? How did we get here?
Yo, what the fuck, bro? All right, here's what it is. Like, the internet gave really stupid people a platform, right? And they just fucking had a field day with it. Like, they were like, yo, I'm gonna just, all my stupidity gets put on full display, and I'm going to try to rationalize this shit, right? Like, I'm just going to fucking think of random names and fucking just grab shit out of context and just meld it together. And here's what I'm gonna call the truth, right?
Like, yo, look, I used to like pessimism porn, right? I did. I used to love pessimism porn. It was great porn. But after, like, you know what I mean, the 12th doomsday theory that didn't happen, I was just like, y'all niggas is retarded. All right. Like, I will be prepared for when the bad things happen. I got canned food. I got water. I got 10,000 rounds of ammunition. I got 3 or 4 guns. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will be fine. End of the day, zombies come. I'll be plucking niggas off from the rooftop, you know what I mean, and eating my baked beans. I got it, right? I'm fucking smooth on that level. You know what I mean? And, you know, my girl's dog might end up getting cooked. But, you know what I mean? In the end of the day, right? In the end of the day, like, not everything is a retarded ass conspiracy theory. Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And like niggas like me and niggas like you need to like stop trolling them and giving them voices. Don't do that. You know what I mean? You got to call them on their bullshit. You can't just let them run around talking retarded. It's bad for them and us and everybody in America if they're allowed to continue to think they're retarded nonsense. It's important, right? Because you're a good dude, right? Somewhat. I mean, because like I don't know, you be blocking me on some dumb shit because you get mad. Like Tom Pnoid don't be fucking talking to bitches, right? Like, nigga, I ain't your wingman. You know what I mean? It's not my fucking.
Like, yo, Tom Pnoid is like, yo, look, we'll go to the club together, right? But yo. The rest is on you, nigga. I know my way to the back room. Do you know your way?
I love you to death. My game is hit a nigga in the mouth and the bitch will follow. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my game. All right. I got skills at that shit. You know, whereas, you know, you got to do your own fucking thing. In the end of the day, it is what it is. You know?
Yo, you know that method's been working, right? Like, remember, I think it was like a few months ago where you were like, yo, basically you got to treat a bitch like you don't give a fuck about her, right? Yeah. And then like you'll notice she'll be like, what the fuck? It'll hit her in some weird psychological way and she'll start fucking coming after you and shit. And so I was like, yo, I started doing that. I swear to God, right? The more disinterested I act toward these bitches, the more they want to fucking blow up my inbox and shit.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. Listen, yo, like, all right, you ever watch Patrice O'Neal?
Patrice O'Neal, let me see.
He's a fat black dude.
Is he the dude who he talks about? Is he like is he an MRA? Because he sounds familiar.
No. He was a comedian.
Okay.
Right? And he had this bit about fucking like, yo, when you end up like finding that bitch, right? And he said basically it's like a fucking fisherman, all right? You're a sports fisherman. Like you bring the fish on, you catch a fish, you bring it on the boat, you take a picture of it, and you throw it back in the water, right? And he said that bitch that, you know what I mean, ends up being with you was that broad who like jumped back on the boat. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't leave you the fuck alone. That fish kept like fucking jumping on it, flapping around, right? And she's like, why you keep casting out? You want to go catch other fish? And you're like, no, fish, I like you as a fish. You're cool fish. There's something wrong with me as a fish. Nah, you're good, man, whatever, right? And you take that fish home, you know what I'm saying? You put it in your fish tank or whatever, right? And like, you know what I mean, 10 months down the line, this bitch is like, yo, why you still got your motherfucking fishing rods and shit, right? You know what I'm saying? You're still trying to go catch other fish. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, oh, man, you know, and then you get rid of your fishing rod. And then she's like, yo, why you still got your boat? You know what I'm saying? You still trying to go out there in the water and see other bitches and shit. And fucking he's like, I get rid of my boat. And then like, you know what I mean, 6 months later, she's like, nigga, you ain't even got a boat. Right? You know what I'm saying? Yo, and that's the problem. Like, yo, legitimately, like, yo, you got to avoid that situation where it's like, you know, you always got to be able to go out here, you know what I'm saying, and catch other fucking fish. And you got to maintain that mentality. And like, cause like what you are to catch a bitch is what you need to be to keep a bitch.
Yeah. If right. So if what the thing about female psychology is their power, right, is in, I noticed 2 things, right? Primarily it's the sex, right? The sex appeal and the emotional shit, right? Like that seems to be because they know, right? Like males, they know our powers and like our physical strength and capabilities and shit, and like our ruggedness and all that. So the way they're gonna get you is one of those 2 fucking things or both, right? Like they're gonna set up their little traps around that shit. And if you're a dude who caves easily, if you're a dude who, if you're a simp, basically, if you're a simp, if you're a white knight, they got you. You're their prey instead of the other way around, right? So if that happens, you're fucked. And at that point, you may as well just fucking give them all your fucking money and shit, because they already got a leg up on you and you don't even realize it yet. So it's like it's a red pill that goes down slow for a lot of dudes, but once it does go down and they start realizing how fucked the game is, especially because we gave fucking women the right to vote, and then we created the fucking the washing machine and all this, right? Like we started giving them more and more freedom, and wanted to, you put them on equal grounds and shit, when they just didn't belong there because they're not our equals, point blank, period, right? Like then they won't fall for that shit anymore. Then they'll see through the bullshit. The veil will be lifted and they'll be like, oh, okay, right. So I'm the man, which means I'm the fucking head of the household. I'm the fucking, I call the shots in the relationship, this, that, and the other. Like he'll take control, and you'll ward off like maybe all the bitches that think otherwise, right? That have that stupid fucking feminist mentality. And maybe you'll ring in like one of those traditional bitches that don't mind being in the kitchen, and it'll be like, I'll do whatever the fuck you want, clean, cook for you, all that good shit. Like you'll start making progress toward like a better fucking like living situation if you get involved in a female, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, like, how do I put this, man? Like, like you have to understand, like, basically a relationship today is unmanageable, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, it's unmanageable at this point. Like, it's extremely difficult to have a positive relationship if you have a set of testicles, right? Like if you give a fuck about you, it's going to be very, very difficult to deal with a female, who cares about her, because she has so many options to be able to do whatever the fuck she wants. And she has social media and all these things, do whatever the fuck it is she wants to do. So like, what you basically got to do is just stay in your square completely, you know what I mean? And let a bitch come to you. And if she wants to stick around, she sticks around, but understand that you're only renting, you know what I mean? Like, always had that mentality that like, yo, you're not owning this shit. You know what I mean? Like this is a goddamn fucking timeshare. Nigga. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you might be paying for it every year or whatever, but it's just a timeshare. It is what it is. Like other niggas is probably gonna live in that crib at some point.
Yo, exactly. Right. So yeah, it's the whole like demasculating men thing, right? Like taking that power away from them. And that's why even other men, when like if you call a girl a bitch, or like I was saying earlier, you just don't give a fuck about her and you go about your business, even other men will be like, "Yo, bro, that's not cool. You gotta respect women and shit." Like they'll even and it's because they're being feminized, right? Like that's the whole thing.
Oh, like, no. Like I mean, because like it goes back to this mentality of, the old chivalry bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Like, yo, like, because it's deeply ingrained in dudes to protect females, right? But the thing is like the payoff and the reward for, protecting females back in the day was you got more females. And today the reward is, like you get a pat in the head from some bitch on Twitter. You know what I mean? And that's not fucking pimping. Like when I stood here and I told that single mom to close her legs on Twitter, and like I ended up trending, right?
You know what makes no fucking sense to me?
What up?
Like while we're on this subject, OnlyFans. You know what that is, right?
Yeah.
That shit doesn't make any sense to me. Number one, all right, if you really want pictures of bitches fucking naked or whatever, if you really want them that bad enough on your phone, go to fucking Google Images and turn the fucking filter off. They're free. And there's millions of like you don't need to like pay fucking $15 a month or whatever the fuck it is, because this bitch is like, oh, you want to see more, you gotta pay. Bitch, shut up. Like
yo, you know what that is though, right? You know what that really is? Yo, that's the strip club.
That's like the Strip club. Yeah.
Well, think about it like this, right? So, like, as a dude, right? What you want is a single female's personal attention for a little while, right? And to get to see that bitch naked, right? Every dude wants that at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Not every dude gets it, but every dude wants that shit.
Yeah.
So, in the end of the day, like, yo, if that's what you want, you know what I mean? Like, yo, you're going to have to stand here, you know what I'm saying? Either A, go and spend all that goddamn time going and chasing a bitch, especially if, like, you're one of these no chin having ass incel niggas, right?
Okay.
You know what I mean? And, or, you know what I mean, you go to the fucking strip club and you fucking pay for a stripper, you know what I mean, to stand there and give you a lap dance and pretend that she gives a fuck about you.
Basically, like, my whole thing now is because, like, the more I realize this shit, the more I'm just like, wow, like, most bitches these days are good for nothing but just fucking. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, there is no quality, you know, in hardly any of these women anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to sit there and be like, yo, I think this one could be the mother of my kids, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, look, like, those days are long gone for the most part, buddy. Like, you may as well just giddy up and, like, yo, get your dick wet and get the fuck out of there, because it ain't worth it otherwise.
Well, think about it. You know what I mean? Like, we have to stand here and think about it like this, right? Like, when's the last time you got a decent meal from a bitch?
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember the last time you got a decent meal from a bitch, right? And the problem was is that you were fucking some other nigga's bitch. And he knew about it. Like, yo, that's a sacrifice you have to make to have a bitch who, you know what I'm saying, is cool like that.
This is, yo, god damn. That was a good fucking time, yo. I was like, god damn. I was like, I went on Discord. I was like, yo, this bitch made me cookies before she left. Like, what the fuck? This is like, everyone was like, oh, word, your girl. I'm like, it ain't even my girl, nigga. Like, somebody else's who knew about the whole shit just made me cookies after I banged this bitch out. Like, I feel like I was in a good spot there and I should have stayed there.
Like, yo, I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, that is legitimately the best bitch you have had in like 3 years, right? And it was a bitch who was out fucking on her nigga with the nigga knowing. That'll tell you how bad the fucking situation is with these bitches right now.
Yeah. That encapsulates everything. Like, that whole situation that happened, like, that sums up this fucking this dating game, this fucking, yo, I don't know, bro. Like, you think it's gonna reverse at some point? Like, because this isn't this type of system with giving females more and more power, it's not sustainable, bro. It's just not. Like, do you think it's gonna, like, crash and then everyone's gonna realize, oh shit, we fucked up, and then go back to, like, more traditional ways, or what?
No. Like, the only way it crashes is if it really crashes, right? I mean, like, everybody, like, we run out of money, that type of shit, and like everything goes fucking south and all retarded and whatever, right? And like we end up in a situation where females then need dudes, and then shit changes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the only way any of this changes. So, but the cool thing is I found out some new information recently, which is helpful, right?
Oh shit.
How niggas be talking about like the birth rate is crashing because women have rights, right?
Yeah.
That's not true. Yo, the birth rate is crashing because everybody's living inside of cities and it costs more to raise kids in cities.
Yeah. Yo, that's the thing. That's the bitch about it. Everything is basically economics.
That's why I like economics. Like, break everything down to a math problem. It makes way more sense. Like, I tried to explain to somebody one time, like, squirrels have an economy, and niggas is like, squirrels? It's like, yeah, they got acorns that they fucking value. And like, yo, an economy is nothing more than like the study of what, you know what I mean, an individual values inside of its habitat.
Yeah. Like, with economics, you can just kind of, everything literally makes more sense, right? Like the divorce rate, the fucking, like, everyone bitches about the banks and shit. Even that's, you can break that down to math. like almost everything political too. Like you can make sense of shit, like follow the money, right? Like that sort of mentality. Like it helps put the fucking world into perspective, right? Like cash rules everything.
Yo, Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. Yo,
basically.
Yo, man, listen, like you got to follow two things. One is the 10 crack commandments, right? Which is highly important. You know? You know what I mean? The end of the day, follow the 10 crack commandments and, you know what I'm saying, understand motherfucking that Cream, you know what I'm saying? Cash rules everything around me, nigga. You know what I mean? And you'll be fucking fine. Like, just understand that. Like, yo, don't have, like, you got to get rid of that mentality of like Disney World inside of your head that like things are good and things are bad. Things just are. Like, you know, in the end of the day, they just are.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can't complain, you can't whine, you can't bitch, you can't motherfucking do anything. You just go, shit just is right now. Like, don't get mad, nigga. Like, yo, it is. Like, it just is. And it's cool. You know what I mean? If like that's what it is, like, yo, then you have to live among that motherfucking paradigm and have that fucking mentality in your head and understand, like, yo, this is the way things are. People are fucking retarded, you know what I mean? And try to profit off of retarded ass people's money. You know what I mean? Like, yo, if niggas is gonna invest in stupid shit, right? Yeah. Like, for instance, I bought a bunch of shares of Roblox. Yeah. You know what Roblox is?
Nah, what's that?
Yo, it's Minecraft.
Yo. I see where this is going. Go ahead.
Yo, if niggas is gonna be retarded, right? And like, yo, buy, like, yo, they had an IPO where they traded on the fucking market, right? Like, yo, what would you do if you knew that, like, you're like, oh, word, they're gonna give $1,400 to each and every one of these dumb sons of bitches who plays Minecraft, and they just had an IPO where they're selling their shares. What would you do?
Exactly what you're fucking doing. Like, I feel like that's the most logical thing to do.
Right?
Like, I don't,
you know what I mean? At the end of the day.
Yo, crypto is like, well, it's not just crypto, but like stocks and shit. Like, people will sit there and be like, yo, it drains your soul. No, nigga, it fills your wallet is what it does. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like, yo, make money. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, fuck everything, make money in the end of the day. Like, that's just really where it's at. Like, I bought Dogecoin. You know what Dogecoin is worth?
Yo, ain't that shit like 30 cents a coin or something like that?
5
cents. God damn, a nickel.
You know where it's at right now?
Where at?
Almost 7.
So it's climbing. Yeah.
Yo, you know why I bought it?
Why?
Because people are dumb.
Yo, how much did you buy? Did you buy did you buy a shit ton, or did you buy a little bit and see like if it goes up or not?
Oh no, I bought like fucking, how much do I own? I own like fucking $300 worth, right? Yeah. So like if it goes up like a penny, I make like, you know what I'm saying, $70 or $80.
And it's that fucking easy, and all you do is just sit there.
Yeah. Like, while you've been sitting here, I've earned like $35.
Yo, what the fuck? This is why, like, I don't get it, bro. Like, people always complaining, right? Like, yo, I don't like my job, bro. They work at like this rundown liquor store or this fucking Dunkin' Donuts or whatever. They're like, I don't like my job. I don't make enough. And it's like, bro, that's because you're not fucking learning anything about like how to manipulate the stock market, how to invest in crypto, things you can literally sit on your ass at home and do and make money literally by just having some fucking money invested in this shit. That's it.
Yo, look, man, niggas ain't intelligent. They're dumb.
And we need those dumb niggas to profit off of.
Like, yo, they sat there and it was like, yo, we're going to open up the economy again. I was like, word, sounds like I'm buying some hotel and casino stocks.
Yeah.
Yo, that motherfucking Wynn fucking hotels has not gone down in like fucking past 3 weeks. Everything else has crashed. That shit has stayed up, going up every day.
There we go. Let me see. So I fucked with like Bitcoin, and I forgot that I even did this. All right, back in like May or June of 2020, and I completely forgot that I bought a small share, and I checked my shit literally like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, what the fuck? I noticed I had some Bitcoin. I was like, well, how much do I have? And I didn't realize that I made money. I thought it only went up by like a few dollars or something, but I made like over $400, right? And I was like, yo, when the fuck did this happen? And I looked back and I was like, oh shit. Like I made money literally. I just sat there and I forgot about it and I made money. That's how like fickle the shit is, right? Like I can forget about it and then I go back to it and I have like X amount of money that I've made. Like I don't understand, bro. Like I don't need a job anymore. Literally, like I'm set.
Like I need a job on $400. Like nigga, I wish my life was yours.
Yo, this nigga's gonna become a fucking Dogecoin billionaire or some shit. Like it's like said I bought $300 worth of Dogecoin. I woke up one day and I had like fucking $20 million to my name or something.
Yeah, like my Coinbase, John, is up like fucking 60% or some nonsense. You know what I mean? Like, yo, it's not difficult. You just make money, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, yo, but you got to have a little bit of money, make a little money. Like, and it's not really, you don't need a lot, you know?
Speaking of which, yo, let me go grab a fucking drink. I got cotton mouth. Yeah, I'll be right back. Talk about whatever the fuck you want.
The fuck? Man, listen. Yo, man, look, I'm sitting here looking at what the fuck I'm gonna do. Think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna motherfucking hit this joint, right? And oh man, listen, fuck that. You know what? I'm just gonna fucking drop some more money into this bitch. Give it shit. Right. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna buy some of this shit right now at the moment. Yep. Should get money. Yo, real shit, man. Like, yo, it's that easy. Like, fucking drop $50 on that motherfucking joint. Like, yo, if it goes up another dollar, I made $100. Simple shit. Real talk. Real talk, no shit. Make money on this. Oh no, lost a penny. Anyway, yeah, it's like that's what the fuck it is. I do.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me hop into your server real quick before I forget. There we go. Yo, the fucking name of the server, bro. The Trash No State.
The Trash No State.
There we go. Let me see this room. Hold up. Floyd. What am I looking for? Eddie, are you okay? Yo, this is beautiful. Like, this needed to happen. This is a wonderful, beautiful creation, right? Yo, 104. It's been here for like 2 months. That's hilarious. Let's see. Yo, Floyd is in here, bro. Yo, hold up. Did his avatar change? What the fuck? Yo, why is he a fucking... What the fuck is that? It's like a rabbit thing in Spock's uniform or something.
I have no idea.
So, yo, just be glad. Not gonna lie, I have an out of context channel in my server, but this is something else. Oh shit. Yo, called me an irrational bigot. Yo, hold on. I don't know. Yo, this is like the best channel ever, right? Like, hold up. I'm not saying shit. People wouldn't fuck with you if you wasn't such a spurg all the time. Stop drinking. You're a retard when you drink. He's like, I watch y'all. All I can do is present my asshole. I really don't want to be fucked. I'll see you later. Yo, it's like Tom Pease and the crew cornered this nigga in the middle of the woods. And he was like little fucking Peter Cottontail and shit.
It's like, I ain't got nowhere.
And he was hopping down the wrong fucking bunny trail. Ran into a silverback out there.
Like, yo, it's not safe in these woods. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh my god, bro. I think like that's a whole video in and of itself. Like that's a 6-hour stream easily where we can just bang on Floyd. Like,
yo. I put this fucking Discord together, you know what I'm saying? Like just to, you know, help everybody as a whole. So everybody can, you know what I mean, appreciate what's going on.
Let's see. God damn. Yo, is Dip still in here? Let's see.
Yeah, Dip's still around.
Yo, I love the abuse, right, that he takes. And he's like, you know what? I'm a just, you know what? You right. You right.
Right, nigga. You right. You bloody well right. You know you got a right to say.
You know a video I was watching like last night, I think it was the one where you call them out for fucking coming to another man for financial help and shit. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh god damn. I was like, yo, he ate him alive and spat him back out, and it was for his own fucking good.
Yo, look, if we're not educating the youth, you know what I mean? The fuck is the point? You know what
Basically.
I mean? Like, that's really what it's hitting for. Like, if you're not educating these niggas, the fuck is the point of this?
God damn. I need to stop hitting the shit before I go. Well, I was in the middle of a stream when I did, so technically, but
I feel you.
I'll be sitting here in the middle of a fucking stream, right? And I'll just space the fuck out. I'll be like, yeah, so you know, this point connects to this point, and y'all like McDoubles or what? Like,
yo, I'm saying, look, man, I got these cheeseburgers, man.
It's like, yo, this nigga just went from talking about, you know, the politics about Bitcoin to, you know, what his favorite condiments on a fucking McDouble are. Like, I'm not like, is he okay? Like, is he having a stroke?
Oh man. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rip this stream when you're done with it and put it up on my channel.
Yeah, may as well, bro.
Well, like, I know you're gonna get like 5 views on this bitch. You might as well, like, what I'm saying, have some niggas.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Oh, god damn.
Like, yo, fucking yeah, I feel you. You know what I mean? Just on that fucking level where it's like, man, look, Floyd's a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn, I'll be honest with you. I like Dip much more than I like most other people on here. Yo, just because, like, yo, he's at least cool enough to hang out with, right? Like, there's so many niggas on here who are just horrible to hang out with, and they suck so fucking much, like, all the goddamn time. Like, fuck.
Yeah, see, like I like a good combination of like trolling, having fun, being educational, and like just fucking.
I like good trolls, right? Because a good troll is smart enough to know how to troll, right?
Yeah.
Like, dumb trolls suck. Like, they're awful. Like, fucking, I know a couple of dumb trolls, right?
You're not wrong though about like when I troll these people, these hyper conspiracy dudes, like I do kind of like give them motivation, and that's a bad thing, right? Like I should troll in a way where it shuts them down and makes them reevaluate their stupid shit.
Yeah, that's kind of it. You know what I mean? Like, like you should immediately go, like, you do know you're fucking retarded. You know what I mean? Immediately, like, yo, I don't know, or like at least lead them into like not thinking like assholes, right? But what you do is you like promote them, right? And like, yo, they stand here and they go, oh man, this guy, fucking really gets it. And you're just standing there laughing in the background, but he doesn't know you're laughing at him, right? So that's it's not fair. That's like, what I mean, that's like taking a bitch to a pig party. Like, it's not cool. Like, you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, just go fuck the bitch. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Like, you don't have to fucking stand here and go, let's see who can find the ugliest bitch possible. Like, that's just being a dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. God damn. It's getting around that time, bro.
Yeah,
like,
I feel you. It's like 5 in the fucking morning.
My mind's slowing down because like the bitch about it is like when I get hungry and shit, my thoughts stop like being as fluent, right? Like because I'm more focused on like I need fucking something to eat, more energy and shit than the shit at hand. Like I can keep going because I can talk bullshit 24/7, but leave that up to you.
Well, that's kind of my mentality. Like, I can talk nonsense, however, right? But like, like, I'll be real. I can go over here and motherfucking, I can watch some TV or bullshit or whatever. So like, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn on some more burn notice and shit. Fucking hang out for a little bit. Wait for your stream to get, like approved by YouTube. Rip it down and then put it up on my channel. Link your channel in the description. Like, yo, y'all niggas come check this out. There's 3 hours worth of content from Tom Pnoid.
And that's some damn good marketing strategy.
I feel you. At the same time, like, I'm giving you love and I'm putting content up on my channel so I don't have to do it, right? Which is important. Like,
we gotta get what's his name? We gotta get Max. We gotta get Max on a stream, right? And I'm gonna try out trolling him just in a way where it shuts him down. Right.
Well, what you should do is you should talk, right? If you're on a stream with like 3 people, you should try that sometime. Like, talk to other niggas. You know what I'm saying? That might help a little bit.
It might help.
Like, yo, because you be getting on a stream with other dudes, you just be like, all right, I'm gonna stop talking now. Like, I'll never hear from you ever again. Like, God damn it. Like, nigga, like, yo.
Say something, nigga. Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest, little nigga. Cat back blue. Like, ever go night night? Something.
Everybody go night night, nigga. One pillow, one gat, always strapped.
One cat, one alley biscuit. Like, that's it. Where we are. There's one so-called black man with worshiping Baphomet. One Bill Gates.
One Chronicles, one Judah, one Kemet. Let's get it going, nigga.
that's kind of the mentality, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, yo, look, let's shut this bitch down. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm Tom P's of Pnoid News. This is Eric. You know the deal. Check out fucking Pnoid News, Appalachia Elections, fucking links in the description. Just look me the fuck up. You know where the fuck I be. Look for the gorilla avatar. It looks just like my face right now.
Word life, nigga. All right, niggas. Take it easy, y'all. Check out my boy's channel. Deuces.
Peace.